What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Good afternoon and good evening. And I must tell you that one of the things I experienced today was just getting ready to come on. It reminds me of live television, because when you're on live television, there's the pressure of the countdown, you know. There's always an engineer or an assistant screaming the time left to air, you know, 10 minutes to air, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And I just realized today when I put the time, because it just asked me for the time, like it'll say today. I click that it's today, or I can set tomorrow or any day of the week, and then the hour and the minute. You know, I didn't realize there was a countdown that is, I thought it was just on what you see. I didn't see it till today. And back here where I see everything, I would easily miss it because of where it is. It's like up at the top on the right near like the icon in the edit, and it's not in a dark color. So it just flashed me back to that, you know. Wow. Anyway, I want to say first that last night Khalifa of the Most High mentioned in the chat these Georgia GuideStones. And I don't really feel like I'm always in the mode of sharing and teaching, but I don't feel like I've really had the opportunity to really teach in a while, like a subject so much. I mean, I'm always, one of the things that takes my material so long is because I don't just stick to whatever it is that I came to bring you. There's always offshoots or incidental knowledge, things that I know or that I can offer to a subject that is maybe not on the topic at that moment, but it's something is cursory to what we're discussing, and I have knowledge on that. I need to discuss that. So, you know, that comes up. But give you an example of what I'm talking about. You know, I have many pieces here. In fact, I don't usually, you know, when you upload a video, or even after you've uploaded a video, even if it's live, they always give you the option to put it in a playlist. I don't know how savvy people are. You know, do they really check your playlists? You know, I have some playlists. You click on playlists across the tabs of my channel. There's some playlists. You know, I have documentaries, full documentaries I've done. I've done in-depth talks that I've done on specific subjects. I'm really proud of the work I've done on this platform over the years that I've been on here, man. Through 2 shutdown channels. I always have to mention that so that people understand. You know, you may see me at, you know, 3,500 subscribers now, but I was at 23,000. And I grew like leaps and bounds. It was, I didn't know that was even impressive because I didn't know anything about YouTube. You know, I had been on YouTube for many years watching. I learned there was this thing called YouTube. It had no definition to me. Just as if you told me pizza, you know, it meant nothing. And it seems every day you're hearing something about an app or something, and I'm not interested. So, but whenever I learned it was something I could go to and find stuff, you know, like, you know, old documentaries or, you know, music videos or something like that. I just thought it was that. I didn't know that there was channels that there was, the general public was doing videos. I think even when I had to sign in, I just did it. I still didn't know, but I was on for many years before at least several, before I knew that you could just do a video, until I clicked on something, or eventually I was clicking on something. I don't know, man. But that day in 2014, I don't know how I learned it, but that day I realized you could do a video. And I did. And then a whole nother world came to life, you know, because I immediately thought I could do something. I could teach my people something, you know, I could bring us together. I know we all feel the same way. I know who I am, so let's go, you know. And my very first video was called Black People, Slavery, and Christianity. That was the first video. I was sitting on my bed. I lived at my other place that I lived before this one. I was sitting on the edge of my bed. I didn't know anything. I just knew I could speak to the world, you know, and that this was in my wheelhouse of what my assignment is on earth. Since I was a child, if my grandmother was living now, she would tell you, you know, and certainly any of my siblings, you know, when you'd ask the other kids, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? And they want to be a fireman, and they want to be, you know, a policeman or basketball player or something. And they get to me and I go, I'm here to change the world. And they would look at me crazy. And I went through that my whole life, you know. Why was that so why? You can look at this little pissy bastard next to me when he said fireman, you know. But that day of YouTube, I just thought, well, like, this is, I can do this then. Now we're on a mission, and I'm going to bring my people together, and we are going to take things, you know. That was my thought. And all my work was that, you know. So I'm very proud of what I've put out. And even since we started over and got this channel going, I'm still very proud of the work that I've put out here, you know. But I was going to say an example is like, you know, one that just comes to mind is I did a full piece here on the channel about King Leopold II. That's a teaching video. It's a single topic video. I feel like it might be live. It could be recorded. I don't remember. That's one example, you know, or the Willie Lynch letter. You know, those are all teaching moments. I have a whole documentary that I luckily had it on my computer because it was on my first channel. I did a 3-hour documentary. I promise you this documentary took me 3 weeks to shoot it because I had to write a storyboard. And I literally go through wardrobe changes in the video. You see it happening. And I have to announce, oh, you guys, it's a different day. That's why you're not going crazy. That's why I'm wearing something different. And I had to write a storyboard. And then all the clips that I used, I had to clear them. Because everything in that piece is, I'm using video, you know, historical clips, the Zapruder film, you know. And when I sat down to do that piece, I did it because I'm very knowledgeable about the goings on of the truth of 9/11, that it was an inside job perpetrated by the government and the military, as was the Kennedy conspiracy. And that's why I open up that piece with the Zapruder film, because I say, I believe that the day that set the tone for 9/11 was November 22nd, 1963. At 12:30, when that third shot was fired, that's when America took a different turn. One that we will never know because we weren't alive then. I wasn't. And anyway, so I 3 weeks it took me to shoot that, and it's here on the channel. I'm very proud of it. But why I did it is because I had been watching everything and reading everything about 9/11, making myself even more of an expert. And I just thought, well, everything that I'm watching, none of us is producing it. I don't see no black people talking about 9/11 like this. So I need to be the one to do it. And I did. So I'm very proud. And something else that's valuable to watch that piece is, one thing you'll notice is that I was still new to YouTube. So I was being nice and politically correct and shit. Wow. That went out the window. This is in that same wheelhouse. It's an opportunity to bestow a specific piece of knowledge and to share something specific with you that will enrich your knowledge. And I should say this too, you know, my videos are always a learning piece for me too, because even though I'm sort of its host, I'm not the author, because all knowledge is with Allah, but I'm its host. And so when I sit down to present myself to you, I'm in real time. So I don't get a chance to really savor whatever it is that I've bequeathed or whatever we've talked about until I get a chance to watch it back, you know, when it's just quiet and I'm having maybe some tea or something, or I can't sleep, so let me watch my video. You know, many times I've watched things back and go, wow, that's a really good video, forgetting that it's me that's doing it. Just that separation of me and the work, and go, wow, that's, and really get something out of it. But it came through me, You should do videos. If you don't do videos, experience what I'm telling you for yourself, and the other value of it for you would be to get over any fear factor that you have, to, maybe you'll find some things in yourself that you didn't even know you possessed, So Khalifa mentioned this, and I haven't visited this topic since I learned about it. And I feel like when I first knew about the Georgia GuideStones I feel like it was probably like maybe 2005 or something like that. Maybe. I don't remember. I just know, that. And I'm loading my tabs, y'all, so that's why I can get rid of this one now. And I was fascinated by them, and I just kind of stored it. Nobody's mentioned it to me since that. So it's just been in here, So as soon as Khalifa mentioned it last night, I was like, yeah, let me go over here and look at this. Once I knew that they had blown this thing up, I needed to know. And when I was watching back our piece from last night, I watched the video that I played for you. And I got something else out of the video. There was more than one angle. And if they had video of the explosion, if these cameras are running, then they have images of the bastards that blew it up. It's glaring. It's sitting right in our face. Right in our face. So I think we should begin by understanding. Well, for anybody that wasn't here, first let me show you why we're here. The blowing up of the thing, or at least one or two tablets of it, because the whole thing was not destroyed. And then we want to come to, what were they? What was on them most of all? Because that's the mysterious, boogeyman part of all of this. So I'm going to bring you in, show you this explosion, then I'm going to see who's here. This is what happened on Wednesday in the early morning hours of Wednesday. Go. Now, interesting. Wait now. Then that's the car that they said, "Ooh, we have the car escaping." But I realize I'm missing something. Wait, refresh, go back, see again. Because in this video, they're only showing one angle. No, there's two angles. Here's the first angle before it blows up. That's one angle from one side of it. Then boom, the explosion, second camera right there. That's a second camera. That's a second camera. So that means that at least two cameras are on it. And that if you have the explosion, because we don't have the aftermath of the explosion, is where it is like this. That's not where the video starts. The video starts at the structure still intact. You see? So right there, that means you should have who did it. And if we want to allow that maybe it was a remote explosive, then there still should be video of somebody planting the device ahead of time. Because remote or not, you got to get to the thing to plant the explosive. So that's the first angle. Then explosion, shrapnel, second camera, second angle, right there. You see? Then they give us the getaway car and all of it. But if you have the getaway car, then that means that it could have either been remote or they could have done their thing and ran away, but either way, they were still on site. That means there must be video of the perpetrators, which makes this even more intriguing because it goes with what we read last night. We learned that even though the entire thing wasn't destroyed, they went ahead and decided they're going to destroy the entire thing. For what? That's when my ears went up. That's when my ears went up. So it's more than just understanding what their history is, what was on them, but now motive. Why? Because if the torch falls off the Statue of Liberty tomorrow, they go, well, we have to blow up the whole statue. Look, the torch fell. I doubt it. They'll just reconstruct a torch and put the bitch back out there. That's it. So they've raised the ire. They always fall over themselves, man. You see, you can always start beginning to get the first whiffs of conspiracy because they overdo shit. They just do. They just do. So there's the second angle. Then the getaway car. And that camera is already rolling before the car comes into frame, which means that these are not motion activated cameras. This says to me, I'll just go back. The car is nowhere in sight and there's a light. You see? So that light is just on, as was the light before the explosion. This light is just on. So these are not motion activated cameras. They are fixed and they are on. So they have the perpetrators on another piece of film that you and I are not seeing. Just like they had the shooter of Kennedy in frame and on still picture from one of the witnesses that was there. Her camera, it's one of the most clearest photos from the assassination, and you could see the person standing right there. I mean, it's just, you know, but of course they've doctored things and made things grainy and all of this. So, you know, my other provocation for doing this is because I'm just sick and tired of living in a world where I have to always fight to find what the truth of anything is, from what's in my fucking food to am I on a globe or a fucking flat surface, which I know I'm on a flat surface. I'm not on a spinning ball. That's out. You know, the mostly important to me, the true history of our people. You know, what's the real story? You know, everything is a lie. Everything is a lie. That's not an overstatement. Everything is a lie. All of it. 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 Let me see who's here. Willa, shout out to you, Queen. Lamar Clark. Let's get it, Jedi. Bring that knowledge to the light. I got you covered, Lamar. I always forget to click on these as I'm going down. J Allison. Shout out to you, and I'm glad you caught me live. Sweet D. Blessings back at you, Queen. And you also say that 9/11 piece was epic. It was so epic. It was the first long form video that I ever did too, like that in depth, because going back to what I was telling you guys about writing the storyboard, so I could tell it in chronological order, because when I knew I wanted to do it, I knew I wanted to take you from the beginning to the end of the day in order of what happened. but I wanted to set up his historical reference at the beginning with the Kennedy assassination, all that. Show you footage from that you never saw when Kennedy is leaving Love Field after you just see them coming out. You always see them coming off Air Force One, and the crowd is greeting them, and they immediately click to him driving down the street. No, there's more. There's when he gets in the limousine, they're leaving Love Field, and the Secret Service are assembling, and you have the agents ready to go and jump on the back of the car on the running boards that are on the back of the limousine, made on there for somebody to stand there. And the guy in the Secret Service car behind is waving them off like, nah, don't get on there. You good. And they're like, we don't understand, you know. And then I needed to do the Pentagon, and then give you all of that plus witnesses video that people haven't seen. The history of the fucking Pentagon. I mean, everything, man. It is epic. That says it the best, G. It is. Khalifa of the Most High, you are why I'm doing this. Greetings, my brother. And I'm glad you could be here for this presentation. Miss Matthews, shout out to you. Now, and everybody give the stream a thumbs up. Even if you're not in the room, in the chat, do thumbs up the stream. So we want to move into what is the Georgia GuideStones. What is it? What is it? So I went to pull the oldest thing I could find. I didn't want anything because I had to go many pages back because everything that they're displaying now is from 9 hours ago and yesterday, and you know, I don't want any of that. I can't. We need to go back because anything that's of right now is going to be tainted. Which one is this? This is that. So this and that. This is from 2010. And hopefully it's going to yield what I hope it's going to yield. If not, we'll just abandon it and run to something else. Sinister Sites, the Georgia GuideStones. Now this is 15th November 2010. And well, I don't want to cloud. Let's see if any information they don't give that I know, I'll tell you. All right, the Georgia GuideStones is a mysterious monument on which are carved 10 commandments for a new age of reason. The first commandment, maintaining the world population under 500 million. Under 500 million people. Well, Africa's out because before you get to China and everybody else, you know, because we have nearly 1.5 billion people just on the African continent. So 500 million's out. Anyways, another sinister fact, the authors of what we now call the American Stonehenge are still a mystery, except for those in the know. We will look at the numerous features of this monument, its message calling for a new world order, and explain how it is the work of an occult secret society. Stop right there. A, who's writing this? This is Vigilant Citizen. I don't know who they are. Even the article just says Vigilant Citizen, not an individual. But this is concerning, the last part of that paragraph. First, I was going to say that it was probably when I was learning and doing a bunch of study on this New World Order thing, is may have been when this came to my radar. But then you see they ended there and say, so we accept that, the New World Order, and explain how it works, how it is the work of occult secret society. Well, not so fast. Because what does that mean? You know, because increasingly secret society ain't really so secret. The secrets are kind of open. if we're widely discussing them. It's by default not a secret. I just throw caution there. Damn it. They came and updated their shit. Since Wednesday, update. The Georgia GuideStones are now demolished. There it is. Here I was trying to get away from anything current day, and they've done an update. So if they've done an update, they could have augmented the shit. You feel me? Is this the original article? The Georgia GuideStone is an enigmatic granite monument situated in Elbert County, Georgia. Granite. So what was the need to destroy the tablets that weren't destroyed at all, that weren't even damaged? We're going to explore that. Also known as the American Stonehenge, the gigantic structure is almost 20 feet high and is made of 6 granite slabs weighing in total 240,000 pounds. The most astonishing detail of the monument is, however, not its size, but the message encarved on it. 10 rules for a new age of reason. A new age of reason. We have to insert this before we go on. We know this is by white people. These guides touch upon the subjects that are associated with the New World Order, including massive depopulation, a single world government, the introduction of a new type of spirituality, etc. Stop right there. I'm getting leadings now, everybody. Because part of our exploration here is we want to understand why we're random. 4th of July is over. It's a recession. Not a recession, but inflation has gone to hell. Gas prices are through the roof. Ukraine, Russia, the fucking gay ass people, the shit. And then now, oh my God, they blew up. Why now? Why? Who? Why? What? What will be the motive for this? Why now? And so I'm going to preview and say now, because of what they just said there. World depopulation, because I always tell you, when something's already done, when they're telling you about something, it's already done. That could also be the provocation for this, so that it will be the talk of. And that would also fit why it wasn't done before or on 4th of July. It was Wednesday. So give you a couple days to recover from your fireworks and boom, hit you with this. Now, I don't have the benefit of television. So I don't know how much of a story it was, from the moment to moment on TV, on the internet, on the national news and stuff like that. I don't have the benefit of that. But I'm going to speculate and say that it's a big enough story. It's got to be. It's got to be. Because they're previewing to you now. This was the vehicle to tell you, so that it becomes, because this is what happens to the American people. They put, like before 9/11, you go back, there was all kinds of shit. They were putting out movies where the towers were being attacked. They had Independence Day even was one of the earliest ones. And then probably The Simpsons might have been before that. But there was all these things that was out there. So when you seen it, it was just like, you've seen it already. The $20 bill, when you folded it a certain way, it was the fucking towers in the exact order. I mean, this is that. I'm going to say that now until we learn something else. See, because what they said there, the guides touched upon subjects of the New World Order, mass depopulation, single world government, and the introduction of a new type of spirituality. And I suggest to you the new spirituality is this LBGT nonsense. That's the only thing that fits right now. That's the only thing that fits. And I want to make a side note on that too, because we spoke at length about that yesterday. I just want to say this quickly, briefly, just quickly. This whole transgender bullshit and all these pixie ass people, that is also something that is being suffered only by, as for our people, only by Christian folks. They're not coming to Muslims with that. They're not. Because they will get shut the fuck down. Very quickly. Very quickly. Very quickly. They'll get shut down. Because Muslims are not going to acquiesce to that. You understand? Proof of this, and we may, I don't think we'll bring it in this piece, but I'll just share it with you, that there is a Senegalese soccer player, ironically a Senegalese, and I'm going to Senegal, that's something else, but there was some dust up because there was, I thought they just had their fucking pride bullshit, but apparently there was some special day of some awareness for their bullshit. Anyway, and he didn't play that day because they wanted all the team. They had made special shirts for the team, so your name is in a fucking rainbow flag. He didn't show up. So the whole team showed up and played, but they're bitching because this one Muslim didn't show up. Fuck these people. Fuck them. They have no merit. You understand? None at all. And I just have to say this before going on. Remember, if you're in the sound of my voice, you're one of these people that lets that vomit come out of your mouth when you're confronted or around other people and say, well, I support, I don't mind. Fuck you, because what you're saying, so that you understand what you're saying. You're saying, I support sodomy and gay sex. That's the only thing you're supporting. Nothing else. Because they're not oppressed. You understand? Nothing's happening to these people unless they're trying to have sex with somebody who's not down with that shit and they get knocked the fuck out, which that should happen. But they're not being oppressed. Nothing's going on. There's 3 of them next to the world population, certainly just the population of this country. And so there's nothing there. That's all you're supporting. So here's what I want to do. I want the African flag to have to be worn for every fucking thing. The red, black, and green, bitch. I want the red, black, and green to be worn for everything because that's our pride flag. And then also, because I pick my nose often, I want to, I'm coming out now. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm coming out. I said I wouldn't do this. I know the judges are telling me don't do it. And my assistant, they're all saying don't do it. I'm coming out. I picked my nose and damn it, there I came out. Now, you all have to support me and love boogers for now on. You have to, because if not, I'll be insulted and I will feel like I can't be myself. And I'm very sensitive. Same thing. I'm not being ridiculous. But sometimes you have to say it that way so you could go, it really is that. It ain't shit else. And this is not the world, everybody. Luckily, I live, my intellect is international. I know that in my spirit, I'm international, you know? So I think on a world perspective, even if I haven't been around the world. And I know, and I can tell you, and I've told you, this is not the spot. You got to get out of here to see what humanity really is. And what you're mostly going to find is it's only in white countries, primarily this one, where, and this isn't a white country anymore, but this is the only place where the shit is happening. You won't experience this. You go anyplace else. It won't come up. It won't. You won't have to deal with it at all. It won't be in the media and on the TV every damn day. It's just not going to happen. And last thing I'll say about it is this Senegalese guy, his name is Idrissa something. And, but he's from Senegal. In Senegal, which is a Muslim country, homosexuality is punished for about 5 years in death or 5 years in prison. And in Saudi Arabia, if you, homosexuality is punishable by death. No playing around. Last thing I'll say it again. You need to know this. For all the people of faith out there on the planet Earth, the most practiced religion on planet Earth is Islam. So everybody else is talking about it. We actually do the shit. We actually do it. We actually practice our religion, our way of life. Christians walk around with big ass crucifixes on their fucking chest, drinking a beer and smoking a blunt. God love you. But know that they will never bring this to the Islamic community. Won't bring it. Won't bring it. Won't bring it. So that's the new spirituality I suggest to you. The authors of those rules have requested to remain totally anonymous. Well, if they requested to remain anonymous, that means somebody knows who they are. It wasn't like they just put them there and then nobody knows who they are. We don't know. But they just said the authors have requested. That means somebody talked to them and knows their identity, or talked to them. Requested to remain totally anonymous until now, their anonymity has been duly preserved. However, this mysterious group left a text explaining the reasoning behind the rules, a text that was not discussed online before. With this new information, the purpose behind the Guidestones becomes very clear, leaving little room for hypothesis. The Guidestones describe the ideal world. Ideal for who? Because my ideal world is the extermination of white people, and they just don't exist anymore. That's the ideal world. So who's articulating this as their ideal world? The Guidestones describe the ideal world. And they write that without challenge or without scrutiny. This is the writer, not the stone builders saying it. This is the writer saying, period. The Guidestones describe the ideal world. By who says that? Did the anonymous people tell you that? Or you read them and said, this is the ideal world. So this reveals something about the writer. Do you understand what I just said to you? Do you understand what I just said to you? The Guidestones describe the ideal world, comma. Says who? As envisioned by occult societies. All right. Strike what I said, suggest facts, not evidence. But I'm never looking ahead when I'm reading. I'm only reading what I'm reading at that moment. The monument is, therefore, proof of an existing link between secret societies, the world elite, and the push for a new world order. Just a second. I believe you, but how did you go from it's the perfect ideal world as envisioned by occult secret societies? Which ones? So I reinstate my previous objection and my dissertation. I reinstall that. I'm not striking it because they say as envisioned by occult secret societies. Who? Because if they're secret, you don't know them. You haven't talked to them. How do you know this is their philosophy? It just digs itself, man. The monument is, comma, therefore, comma, proof. So they just made that statement with no support. And now they say the monument, comma, therefore, comma, well, there and so proof of an existing link between secret societies, the New World Order, and the elite. Well, what? Because you didn't mention the elite or these people. You didn't mention the elite before. You just went the secret societies, the world elite, and a push for the New World Order. Nah. And that can be true. I'm just objecting to the presentation of it, really. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Quietly standing in Elberton County, the Guidestones will probably gain in relevancy in the next years. Made of pyramid blue granite. Is that really a color? Pyramid blue? Because as the descendant of the people who built the pyramids, I take offense to that description of a color and am highly offended by it. And now I'll have to come out. Made of pyramid blue granite, the Georgia Guidestones are meant to withstand the test of time and to communicate knowledge of several levels, on several levels, philosophically, politically, astronomically, etc. It consists of 4 major stone blocks which contain 10 guides for living in 8 languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. Well, I got 3 out of however many it is, 10. So it's in that many languages. I think I only read the English when I looked at these the first time I ever knew about them. I don't think I ever looked at it to note that there was any of the languages. A shorter message is inscribed at the top of the structure in 4 ancient languages: scripts, Babylonian Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphics, or hieroglyphs. It is important to note that those last 4 ancient languages are of great importance in the teaching of occult mystery schools, such as the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians organizations. I will discuss later. Rosicrucian.
According to Wikipedia, Rosicrucianism is a spiritual and cultural movement that arose in Europe in the early 17th century after the publication of several texts purported to announce the existence of a hitherto unknown esoteric order to the world and made seeking its knowledge attractive to many.
Thank you, White Whore. The 4 major stones are arranged in a giant paddle wheel configuration, which is oriented to the limits of the migration of the sun during the course of the year, and also shows the extreme position of the rising and setting of the sun in its 18.6 year cycle. Just a second, y'all. Which is oriented to the limits of the migration of the sun. The migration of the sun. You see how the truth slips out when you don't intend? You can only have a migration on a flat surface. Migration is there. I didn't write it. The migration, I'll just read it again. The 4 major languages are arranged in a giant paddle wheel configuration, which is oriented to the limits of the migration of the sun during the course of the year. That's where they should have stopped. And then they go on and say, and also shows the extreme position of the rising and setting of the sun. Fuck that rising and setting. The sun does not rise and set, everybody. It simply travels away to and fro. Then a what? A migration, bitch. Let us understand. When the Jedi speaks, you learn. The center stone has two special features. First, the North Star is always visible through a special hole drilled from the south to the north side of the center stone. Second, another slot aligns with the position of the rising sun at the time of the summer and winter solstice and at the equinox. This hole would also suggest that it was assembled on site, because you couldn't drill that hole to accuracy if you are somewhere else, because you don't know. You have to know the elevation of where it's going to sit, and is it the earth where it sits at in Alberta, Georgia, the weather, is it going to sink? It weighs 240,000 tons or whatever the hell they told us. So, but this is what it looks like here. This is a breakdown of it here. Arabic, Hebrew, Hindi, Sanskrit, Swahili, Egyptian, hieroglyph, Koine Greek, Spanish, Babylonian, English, and Russian. Very interesting. At the base of the guidestone lies an explanatory tablet listing some of the details of the structure. It also mentions a time capsule buried underneath it. The contents of this time capsule, if it exists, are a total mystery. Just a second. And we're going to find this out because we learned yesterday that in the article we read on it, that they said because only just one slab was basically destroyed. This is granite. So one slab was destroyed, one or two maybe, but not all of them. They were all intact. We saw the video. They weren't destroyed. So why did you destroy the rest of them? Why? That's right up there with Kennedy is murdered. And while you don't know if he's going to live or die, you're already hosing down the limousine out in the parking lot of the hospital and clearing evidence. It's right up there. This is right up there. And so now that we learned that there was a time capsule underneath it, and this article speculates, says if it exists, does it exist? Did it exist? And atomic features, granite through stone, indicate celestial pult. Horizontal slot indicates annual travel of the sun. Sunbeam through capsule marks noontime throughout the year. Author R.C. Christian, somebody, and somebody sponsors a small group of Americans who seek the age of reason. Time capsule placed 6 feet below this spot on to be open. But there's no date there. The explanatory tablet explains, I didn't know any of this. I can tell you this. I didn't know there was a fucking time vault, time capsule underneath this. I don't think I learned that. This is new information for me. Astronomical features are of great importance in the design of the Guidestones. It is a relatively new nation, such as the United States. Monuments that are aligned with celestial bodies are often the work of secret societies, such as the Freemasons. Just a second. Well, they would have taken that from Africans because we're the first ones to line up anything with celestial bodies. To this day, Africans live more in tune with the universe and what it has to do so that it can serve you. I can't tell you how many times one time I was just watching some brothers in, what country was it? They were doing cocoa. So it might have been Sierra Leone. It could have been Cote d'Ivoire. I think it was Cote d'Ivoire. But they were out, this sister, she owns, which many Africans do, but she owns a cocoa farm. I hate to say farm because it's acres and acres. But just when he was explaining to the people that were there, the YouTuber or whoever the fuck it was, just when he's explaining, the way the brother, I never did no cocoa, and I was ready to go out there and do this shit with him, because the way he describes it, he's saying, he goes, we do this because when it rains with such and such and such and such, and we clip it here, we don't want to hurt the plant because the tree will help us. And but the way he's speaking as if it's like this tree is his father, like nature is my father almost. It was so beautiful, but that's how they do. The earth is here to serve us in every single way. We're just walking and driving past shit. We're not noticing anything. We're not experiencing it. We're not taking it in. Nothing. So we're the first ones to do that. So, of course, they stole that. as they say, in relatively new nations, the monuments that are aligned with celestial bodies are often the work of secret societies. No, they're the work of African people. Usually out of respect for the universe and its energy and what it can provide, such as the Freemasons, drawing their teachings from the mystery school of ancient Egypt. Greece, no, Greece didn't have no ancient shit. Or the Druidic Celts. Nah, bitch, stop at Egypt and be done. You're done. You're right, you're done. They are known for embedding into monuments some of their sacred knowledge. Well, the Greeks didn't have any sacred knowledge because we were here first. So by the time the Greeks, whenever the fuck they showed up, we already knew stuff. So you learn from what came before you. So there was no sacred knowledge that the Greeks would have had to bequeath to or share with anybody. They sat their ass down and learned from us. That's what they did. Is this in English? Yeah, hopefully you're gonna write it. Yeah. The 10 guides of a new age of reason are as follows. Maintain humanity under 500,000 or 500 million. Yeah, that's 6. 500 million. All right, I take back my Africa comment from earlier. All right, maintain the humanity under 500 million. In perpetual balance with nature. No. This is immediately somebody outside of an understanding of the creator and creation. Because Allah is never going to put more people on the earth than that it can hold or sustain above all. So when you hear about these food shortages and there's people are starving and they just have no food in Yemen and we just can't go on, that's manufactured by this white devil, everybody. One of the Islamic scholars spoke at the beginning of this COVID nonsense. In a khutab, he was saying that nature has never attacked man. In the history of existence, nature does not attack man. Do you understand? In a way that is like every person like that. So you have an earthquake over here in California, and they just had a tornado in Texas, and blah, blah, but just not this mass like, oh, everybody's under siege from one fucking thing. That does not happen. And the divine is consistent. You understand? So you have to apply this understanding with many things to understand the world, certainly this society and their evil goings on, you know. So when they say in perpetual balance with nature, that's just outside of nature, because nature is going to be in perpetual balance since Allah said be. He's already established the balance. That's it. That's it. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely. What are we hearing now? Roe v. Wade was just overturned. Improving fitness and diversity. Guide reproduction wisely. Guide reproduction wisely. Guide it. Improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. My pronouns are we and they and us, and fuck you, whore. Number 4, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Well, now they're off the beaten path, because that doesn't fit the white devil model. So I'm all fucked up now. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. So the occult don't talk like that. So strike the occult. All their occultic hypotheses leading into this, I say we strike that, because no occult believes in this. This reads like someone who's aware of a divine creator, even if they're not clear about, they don't have a full understanding. But this is not the work of an occultic individual. You want to give me secret society, new world order, I got you, but not the occult. Occult usually has their own god, and it's just like it's a whole different thing, man. Be not a cancer on the earth. Well, white people are out. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. They repeat that. This is written by an African. Stolen by a white demon, but written by an African. The principles are too, and added and probably embellished, because this maintain humanity under 500 million, that's not African. Guide reproduction wisely, improve fitness and diversity, that's white. Unite humanity with a living new language, probably white. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, African. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, African. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court, African white devil, probably embellished. Avoid petty laws and useless officials, African. Balance personal rights with social duties, African. Prize truth, beauty, love, or truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite, that's African. Be not a cancer on the earth. So why would somebody say be not a cancer on the earth? Unless they're speaking to white people, because that is the cancer on all of humanity and all of existence. Stop the video when I lie. As you could see, the guidelines call for a drastic reduction of the world population, the adoption of a new world language, the creation of a world court, and vague allusions of eugenics. In other words, a blueprint for a new world order. Is it really a new world order, though? It's in that wheelhouse, but I think new world order might be a little too strong. Depopulation, Planned Parenthood, and eugenics. The first commandment is particularly shocking, since it basically stipulates that 12 out of 13 people on earth should not exist. What's the ratio of white people to everybody else? Is it 12 to 13? If so, the Stones are absolutely right, and I always knew they were perfect. I always knew. Basically, that would mean everybody in the world would disappear except half of India. Why you gotta say India? Why couldn't you say Africa? Because we're not writing this publication. We gotta know all the parameters, everybody. All the parameters. We don't just read shit. This is the Jedi. We don't do that. So we have to question, and we have to interrogate also the composition itself, you see, not just the information that it's bringing. If today's world population is 6.7 billion, and this is written in 2010, then that is a 92.54% surplus. To consider these figures is mind-boggling. But then, how many people survived in the movie 2012? Not many. Who were they? The Earth's wealthiest people. Is this predictive programming? Listen, money doesn't make you an ultimate survivor. So let's throw that out. You understand? Unless you're the rich and you're perpetrating this shit on everybody else, then we can understand. Like, I could build some shit right now to protect my shit and unleash some atomic weapon and shit. You feel me? I'm not elite. So they keep coming back to this. Remember, I objected to it earlier in the piece. But here they are again saying, who were they? The Earth's wealthiest people. Well, that was in a movie. Is this predictive programming? The last rule of the Guidestone, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Is particularly disturbing as it compares human life to cancer on earth. No, it does not. You see how white people hear something that not even if they read it. So that they hear it, they definitely fucked up. If you could read it and you don't get it, you definitely fucked up if you hear it. So nobody got that. You didn't get that. I'm speaking for you now. You didn't get that. That's not what you got. But that's what they got. Is particularly disturbing as it compares human life to cancer on earth. That's not how it read. It was a bequeathing. It was a warning. It was a request. Don't be a cancer on the earth, and be kind to nature, or leave room for nature. That was general, but they felt personally attacked. It compares human life. If you're a devil, you are the cancer on the earth. So hit dogs holler. See? Wow. With this state of mind, it is easy to rationalize the extinction of nearly all the world's population. No, just white people. Massive depopulation is an admitted goal of the world's elite, and many important people have openly called for that. Again, I have to come back to this elite shit. We have to be very careful, everybody, because Oprah is elite. Quincy Jones is elite. Will Smith is elite. Chris Rock is elite. The Jedi, I'm elite. That's right. I couldn't do it without laughing. I mean, when they say the elite, who are we talking about? Oh, who are we talking about? And these aren't the only fucking elite people. The Sultan of Brunei makes Bill Gates look like a pauper and a beggar. And the fucking Elon Musk do. They always give these white people as the most wealthiest people on the earth, and they are not. Go look up what the Sultan of Brunei is worth. Go look that up. Why don't we just do it now? Why not? What is the gross worth of the Sultan of Brunei?
Here is information from Wikipedia.
Read, bitch. You see, they turn on you. The Sultan has been ranked among the wealthiest individuals in the world in 2008. So I'm sure he's gained some coin since then. Forbes estimated the Sultan's, and by the way, was Elon Musk on the scene in 2008? I don't think so. How about Jeff Bezos? Not understanding. But anyway, in 2008, Forbes estimated the Sultan's total peak net worth in US $20 billion. After Queen Elizabeth, that whore, the Sultan is the world's second longest reigning current monarch. What is Jeff Bezos' current net worth? So he's at 139 billion, but he hasn't been that since 2008. He's new. But my point is, when they say the elite, first of all, who are they meaning? That's a tiny little word, but who is elite? Who is elite? It's the elite that are doing it. Well, the elite. Does that mean everybody with a fucking yacht is in on this? Because to me, it's all white people. Nobody else is concerned about none of this shit. Not at all. So who are we talking about? Is easy to rationalize distinction of okay. Massive population is an admitted goal of the world's elite, and many important people have openly called for it. Not many. We can name the people that have openly called for it. To quote them, they say many important people have openly called for it. Who are the many? It's not been many. It's been a couple of mad people, psychotic bastards. That's it. You see? You see how things can become very overzealous very quickly. In 1998, Britain's Prince Philip expressed the wish that should he be reincarnated, he would want to be a deadly virus. Well, you already are a deadly virus. That would reduce the world's population. Most recently, Bill Gates said the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by 10 to 15%, said the fucking, God damn, this motherfucker needs to die. Along with tax-deductible donations of enormous amounts of money to help the depopulation cause. Secret meetings of the world's elite have been taking place to discuss those issues. Some of America's leading billionaires have met secretly to consider how their wealth could be used to slowly grow the world's population and speed up improvement in health and education. The philanthropists who attended a summit convention on the initiative of Bill Gates, the Microsoft asshole, discussed joining forces to overcome political and religious obstacles to change. This gay bullshit is part of it. Described as the Good Club by one insider, it included David Rockefeller Jr., the patriarch of America's wealthiest dynasty, Warren Buffett, and George Soros, the financiers Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York, and the media mogul Ted Turner and Oprah Winfrey. The second rule, guide reproduction wisely. Improving diversity and fitness basically calls for the inference of lawmakers into the management of family units. If we read between the lines, it requires to the creation of law. It requires to the creation of laws structuring the number of children per family. Furthermore, improving diversity and fitness can be obtained with selective breeding or the sterilization. This is why we're seeing black and white, a black man with white bitch on every fucking thing known to all humanity in this nation. If that's, to go with their claim. Improving diversity and fitness can be obtained with selective breeding. They put that in quotations, selective breeding, end quote, or the sterilization of undesirable members of society, or your black ass. This used to be called eugenics, quotations, end quote, until it became politically incorrect because of the Nazis. One world government. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure, one world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty and I'm proud of it. Quote from David Rockefeller's memoirs, David Rockefeller. This, by the way, everybody, it's glaring that these fucking things are here in America. Like when you watch movies, nothing happens anywhere but in America. It all happens here. And even when there is, like something is attacked or something, it's always America. It's always New York. You understand? Like New York and shit. Wait, y'all. Damn it. I gotta make sure I'm not glitching. So it's also very glaring that this thing is even here. Here. Think about that. Just that this is here. This was in Georgia. Why is it here? Most of the other rules of the Guidestone basically call for the creation of a world government ruled by an enlightened few, quotations. who would regulate all aspects of human life, including faith, social duties, economy, etc. Well, who's enlightened? Who's worthy of that? Nobody on Capitol Hill right now. This idea is far from new, as it has been entertained by mystery schools for centuries. Mainly P.H. Hall wrote in 1917. When the mob governs, man is ruled by ignorance. That's wisdom. Hear that again. When the mob governs, man is ruled by ignorance. Because the mob is so loud and you're so weak-minded. I support it. That's all the example I need. When the mob governs, man is ruled by ignorance. That should be on a t-shirt. When the church governs, he is ruled by superstition. Indeed. Because when you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way, Stevie Wonder. You understand? Because that Bible, Christianity, is superstition. Is there some little pieces of truth in there? Absolutely. I will testify to that and I will show them to you, and I have. But the rest of it's bullshit. Just the whole 4 Gospels have got to go. You just start with that and we'll move to the other things. But he specifically said the church, when the church governs, he is ruled by superstition. And when the state governs, he is ruled by fear. What I've been preaching for years, your Achilles heel is fear. That's the Achilles heel of African people. You are in fear. You've got to put down fear. If I had $1 for every time I said the word fear, I'd be on a yacht someplace right now. Off the coast of Provence. Wow. Before men can live together in harmony and understanding, ignorance must be transmuted into wisdom. What do I tell you all the time? There can never be reconciliation without acknowledgement. This is in that same wheelhouse. And communication, I always tell you, you can fix anything if you can just communicate. Can you hear me? And can I hear you? That you're not listening, you're hearing. You could fix anything. 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 I stand by that to my last breath. And this is in that same breath. Before man can live together in harmony and understanding, ignorance must be transmuted into wisdom, superstition into an illumined faith, and fear into love. Well, that's kind of poetic and it's a little melodramatic, and we strike that because love means nothing, everybody. Fear into love. You can't turn fear into love. You can't do that. You can't, just like you can't put ice in hot water and it be still ice. That's that. Fear into turn fear into love. You can't do that. There's some petty examples one could give. There's a tiger coming at you. Oh my God, I'm in fear. I can't go on. Please save me. And then it doesn't bite you and it totally licks you. And then you move the cat in and it totally, you get along and now you love the cat. Fine, there, I proved it. Anyway, despite statements to the contrary, Masonry is a religion seeking to unite God and man by elevating its initiatives to the level of consciousness whereon they can behold with clarified vision the workings of the great architects of the universe. Nah. Objection. Hear that. We don't buy that shit at all. Masonry is exactly against God. Period. The moment you have secrecy, you're outside of the realm of the divine. Just even that. The moment you have secrecy, because Allah says to us, He knows what you reveal and what you conceal, what is before you and what is behind you. and he is closer to you than your jugular vein. So this is, you know, what do you call it? Rattling. Masonry is a religion. I would have gone with that. Masonry is a religion seeking to unite God, strike, and man by elevating the initiates to the level of consciousness whereon they can behold with clarified vision the workings of the great architect of the universe. Allahu la ilaha illa Allah, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, la ta'khuzuhu sinatun wa la na'um, lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard, man alladhi yashfa'u indahu bila bi'idni. Listen, Allah says to us all throughout the Quran, you can't access any. You always see me when I'm sitting here, I could just forget something. Oh, what's the name? It'll come back to me, inshallah. All knowledge is with Allah. Then I go on what I'm saying. A few minutes later, all knowledge is with Allah, and then I share it with you. I'm respecting that principle that all knowledge resides with the divine. And Allah says to us in the Quran that none accesses any of his knowledge unless he allows it. They're seeking to be at the same level with, like you're just his friend. You just put your arm around him and say, tell us, show us all the things that you know, oh great architect of the universe. This is fantasy. And they started out with that Masonry is a religion to unite God and man. Nah, you're not. You know. This is rambling. And it's blasphemous. From age to age, the vision of a perfect civilization is preserved as the ideal for mankind. In the midst of that civilization shall stand a mighty universe wherein both the sacred and secular sciences concerning the mystery of life will be freely taught as to all who will assume the philosophic life. In the midst of that civilization shall be a mighty universe wherein both the sacred and the secular sciences concerning the mystery of life will be freely taught. Well, we're there already, because you have secular and sacred. They dig up a mummy, the Muslim comes along and shows them. We have the Quran that says you was going to dig up this mummy, and Allah told you he was going to preserve it. It's the most preserved. I mean, we could go on, you know. Or when I brought you, it's here on the channel, I've been telling you forever that the Prophet ﷺ said if a fly lands in your drink, you just push it down in the drink and continue to drink your drink. It's not going to make you sick. You're going to be fine. No matter how nasty a fly is, you will be fine. Because the Prophet said, because again, as your scripture tells you, all that he speaks will be from me. I will put my words in his mouth. He will not speak of himself, etc. So it's not just the Quran. Everything the Prophet spoke was from Allah. That's it. He couldn't speak anything else. So when you push it, now we find out in secular, that would be sacred. Now in secular, I brought you, I don't know, something, science mechanics or something. It's here on the channel, where they learned that the fly has a antidote on the wing that saves you from all the bacteria that it could be carrying, etc., etc. We've known it already, you see. But that would be an example of the secular and the sacred, in my view, concerning the mysteries of life will be freely taught as to all who will assume the philosophic life. Here, creed and dogma will have no place. Creed and dogma will have no place. The superficial will be removed, and only the essential be preserved. The world will be ruled by its most illumined minds. Why are they saying illumined? Can they just say illuminated minds? And each will occupy the position for which he is most admirably fitted. That is from Manly P. Hall, The Secret Teaching of All Ages. In The Secret Destiny of America, Hall explains the ancient dream of a world government as entertained by secret societies. World democracy was the secret dream of the great classical philosophers. Toward the accomplishment of this greatest of all human ends, they outlined programs of education, religion, and social conduct directed to the ultimate achievement of a practical and universal brotherhood. And in order to accomplish their purposes more efficiently, these ancient scholars bound themselves with certain mystic ties into a broad confraternity. In Egypt, Greece, India, and China, the state mysteries came into existence. Orders of initiated priests, philosophers were formed as a sovereign body to instruct, advise, and direct the rules of the state. Now, explanation directly from the anonymous authors. Let me just see. Since the monument's erection on 22nd March 1980, numerous authors and researchers have attempted to interpret the rationale behind the 10 guidelines. Do they truly consist of a blueprint for a new world order? Are they simply rules to apply in case of a major catastrophe? The best place to get an accurate answer is to ask the author of the rules themselves. However, since they have chosen to remain anonymous, it is impossible to do so. They did, however, leave an all-important statement, which has been overlooked by nearly all researchers of the Guidestones. This astonishing text, which describes their motives in great detail, can only be found in the Georgia GuideStones Guidebook, a pamphlet produced by the Granite Company, which produced the monument. I didn't think of that. Somebody had to fucking make the slabs of granite. So there's got to be a work order. There's an invoice. Somebody paid for this shit. There might be a credit card number. I mean, come on. And that gives us an address, and that gives us a phone number, that gives us an identity. Come on. I can't. Wow. The best place is fuck. However, I just lost my place. They did, however, leave an all-important statement. Oh, the book. Okay, the plan for. Okay, there it is. There it is. Produce the monument. Right from the start, it is obvious that the authors of the monument do seek the creation of a new world order. This is not a conspiracy theory or hypothesis. It is written in clear and unequivocal terms. So here is, directly from the pen of the secret authors, the explanation of the 10 rules of the Guidestones. Parts in bold have been highlighted by myself to emphasize noteworthy parts. Okay, fine. So now they're saying that these portions we're going to read now from the Guidestone itself spell out that this is not a conspiracy, it's unequivocal, and that it spells out for a new world order. It is very probable that humanity now possesses the knowledge needed to establish an effective world government. Okay, so this is being written in what they say, 2000 and what? Or 1980. It's very probable that humanity now possesses the knowledge needed to establish an effective world government. In some way, that knowledge must be widely seeded into the consciousness of mankind. Very soon, the hearts of our human family must be touched and warned, so we will welcome a global rule of reason. And let us explore, everybody, that the idea of a world government wouldn't necessarily be such a bad thing if we were all one humanity. Just like you have many people screaming for a one all one Africa right now, you know. As long as you have white people present, it's not practical. It's not, you can't. You know, anytime you have anybody running anything, you have to have, it could be from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. You have to have leaders that are not, that have no ego, and that are only the vanguard of the people, that are only there to serve the will of what everybody's saying. You know, everybody's saying they want pizza, I go get pizza. Everybody's saying such, I do that, you know. But this is exactly not that. You have people that everybody's screaming pizza, and they fucking fly off to the fucking Bahamas someplace. The group consciousness of our race is blind, perverse, and easily distracted by trivia when it should be forced on fundamentals. The group consciousness is blind, perverse, and easily distracted by trivia. That's true. You know, you're in a 24-hour news cycle, and it goes past you. There's no, let me educate you, you know. Every time there's a political cycle, instead of them really telling you about the candidates, this person really is some bullshit, this one's such and such, it's just all fucking vague, and we don't have any real answer, and everyone's the same, so we don't know who's could win. You know, this is kind of in that wheelhouse. It sort of alludes to that idea. We are entering a critical era. Population pressures will soon create political and economic crisis throughout the world. These will make more difficult, and at the time more needed, the building of a rational world society. A first step will be to convince a doubting world that such a society is now possible. Well, they've been screaming New World Order for many years now. You know, let me put a marker here so I can scan and see how much more of this there is. Yeah, I don't need all of this. But it's important. There's some things we can skip, I think. We love. Let us establish. No. A first step will be, okay, let us keep in view enduring appeal to the collective person of humanity. Let us draw attention to the basic problems. Let us establish proper priorities. We must order our home here on Earth before we reach the stars. Well, that's out. I mean, they've already allegedly gone to the moon. That didn't happen. And now Bezos and the other fucker, they're all going up every 5 minutes in some capsule, which that's not happening. You could go to Magic Mountain, get on a ride, and it's the same thing. Less money. I'm over it. Human reason is now awakening to its strength. It is the most powerful agency yet released in the unfolding of life on the planet. We must make humanity aware that acceptance of compassionate, enlightened reason will let us control our destiny within the limits inherent in our nature. We must make humanity aware that acceptance of compassionate, enlightened reason will let us control our destiny within the limits inherent of our nature. It is difficult to see wisdom in closed human minds. cultural inertias are not easily overcome. Talking about the dumb and the ignorant, then comma, no, that's a period. Cultural inertias. No, inertias is a fancy word, everybody. Inertia is a real word, but it's misplaced here. Cultural tradition, bitch, are not easily overcome. Unfolding world events and the sad record of our race dramatize the shortcomings of traditional agencies in governing human affairs. Unfolding world events and the sad record of our race dramatize the shortcomings of traditional agencies in governing human affairs. The approaching crisis may make mankind willing to accept a system of world law, which will stress the responsibility of individual nations in regulating internal affairs, and which will assist them in the peaceful management of international friction. With such a system, we could establish war. We could provide every person an opportunity to seek a life of purpose and fulfillment. There are alternatives to Armageddon. They are attainable, but they will not happen without coordinated efforts by millions of dedicated people in all nations of the earth. We, the sponsors of the Georgia GuideStones, are a small group of Americans who wish to focus attention on problems central to the present quandary of humanity. This is 1980. We have a simple message for other human beings, now and in the future. We believe it contains self-evident truths, and we intend no bias for a particular creed or philosophy. Yet our message is in some areas controversial. We have chosen to remain anonymous in order to avoid debate and contention, which might confuse our meaning and which might delay a considered review of our thoughts. We believe that our precepts are sound. They must stand on their own merits. Stonehenge and other vestiges of ancient human thoughts arouse our curiosity, but carry no message for our guidance. No, fuck you. What I say, they got some of this stuff. They didn't just come up with this. They didn't. And now they deny it. Stonehenge and other vestiges of ancient human thought, in other words, all of the brilliance that went on before, that arouse our curiosity, but carry no message for our guidance. We came up with it on our own, said the demons. To convey our ideas across time to other human beings, we erected a monument, a cluster of graven stones. These silent stones will display our ideas now and when we have gone. We hope that they will merit increasing acceptance and that through their silent persistence, they will hasten in a small degree the coming age of reason. And I wonder which languages were destroyed in the blast, because that could offer at least a second motive of why you would just destroy the rest of them. You see? You know, if the Swahili one was destroyed, then nobody cares. You know, and maybe the Hindi one. Oh, that's so what? You see? Come on, man. White man's the devil, everybody. That's the first principle you start with everything. We hope that it will merit increased acceptance and that through their silent persistence, I read that. We believe that each human being has purpose. Every one of us is a small but significant bit of the infinite. The celestial alignments of the stones symbolize the need for humanity to be square with external principles which are manifest in our own nature and in the universe around us. We must live in harmony with the infinite. Okay, no objection to any of that. 4 large stones in the central cluster are inscribed with 10 precepts. each stone carrying the same text in 2 languages. In the English version, the message totals fewer than 1,000 words. The languages have been selected for their historical significance and for their impact on people now living. Since there are 3,000 living languages, not all could be chosen. That's not true. You see, that totally disrespects the entire African continent. Just in fucking Nigeria, there's, I forget how many main languages, and then several fucking dialects after that, like many languages and shit. They're talking about there's only 3,000 languages. There's more than that. There's more than that just in Africa. Just before you get to India, before you get to China, y'all have to wait. We're coming. You feel me? No. So there's a lot of things being revealed that one could read and understand. Not all could be chosen. We envision a later phase in the development of the Georgia GuideStones. It is hoped that other stones can be erected in outer circles to mark the migration of the sun, there's that word, and perhaps certain other celestial phenomena. These stones would carry our words in the language of the individuals who share our beliefs and will raise similar stones at international boundaries in the languages of friendly neighbors. They should serve as reminders of the difficulties which all humanity must face together and would encounter mutual efforts to deal with them rationally and with justice. We profess no divine inspiration beyond that which can be found in all human minds. Our thoughts reflect our analysis of the problems confronting humanity in this drawing of the atomic age. Just a second. Now they're going back to this hierarchy divine thing. Well, in no divinity do you massacre off anybody. So this doesn't feel like, but they begin with maintaining the world at 500 million. So, but then here you going back, so it's contradicting. It's contradicting. We profess no divine inspiration. Well, that's true. Beyond that which can be found in all human minds. Our thoughts reflect our analysis of the problems confronting humanity in this drawing of the atomic age. They outline, in general terms, certain basic steps which must be taken to establish for humanity a benevolent and enduring equilibrium with the universe. Human beings are special creatures. We are shepherds for all earthly life. In this world, we play a central role in an eternal struggle between good and evil, between the forces which build and those which would destroy. The infinite envelops all that exists, even struggle, conflict, and change, which may reflect turmoils in the very soul of God. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. God does not have a soul, everybody. That's blasphemous. So they don't have an understanding of the divine, the writers. They it's kind of all over the place. There's sort of a self-aggrandizing at different parts, and then it's like a wish for humanity, but then you start it with people gotta go. I mean, it's kind of all over the place. It really is. But right there, reflect the turmoil in the very soul of God. That's dramatic writing. It's dramatic. Like somebody that sounded good to somebody, and they had no idea how fucked up and how blasphemous it is. God doesn't have a soul. God is nothing like you at all. And all this, God created man in his own image. No, that means you look in the mirror, you're supposed to see God. You don't, bitch. You don't. Damn it. He selects you. He created you in an image he selected for you. You're not seeing God. You're not going to see him. You can't. But that's blasphemous. We humans have been gifted with a small capacity to know and to act. Okay, do they mean that humbly? Because that's true. For good or evil, we must strive. Oh, you know, I should check the, I'm not even looking at the stream, y'all. So if I'm doing any glitching, y'all need to let me know. Am I doing any glitching? I hope I'm not glitching. Because this is in full screen. I can't see myself or anything. I don't know. I'm going to be very mad if I'm glitching. We play a central role in eternal struggle between good and evil, between the forces which build and those which would destroy. The infinite envelops all. I read that. We humans have been gifted with a small capacity to know and to act, for good or for evil. We must strive to optimize our existence, not only for ourselves, but for those who come after us. And we must not be unmindful of the welfare of all other living things whose destinies have been placed in our trust. We are the major agency through which good and evil qualities of the spirit become actors in the world. Without us, there is very little love. There's very little of love, mercy, or compassion. Yet we can also be agents of hate and cruelty and cold indifference. Only we can consciously work to improve this imperfect world. It is not enough for us to merely drift with the current. The rational world of tomorrow lies ever upstream. In 1980, as the stones were being raised, the most pressing world problem was the need to control human numbers. In recent centuries, technology and abundant fuels have made possible a manipulation of humanity far beyond what is prudent or long sustainable. Now we can foresee the impending exhaustion of those energy sources and the depletion of the world's reserves of many vital raw materials. Controlling our reproduction is urgently needed. It's not, everybody. For white people, yes, definitely. You're right. It's a crisis. Y'all should stop having babies. Quick, stop. There's too many people on Earth. And then we get back in the bedroom and continue knocking the boots. Because it's never going to be the case, you know. First of all, it's easy to sell this lie to people because most people never get out of their hometown. They never go anywhere. Not even in this country, you know. Like, I've traveled across this country numerous times from coast to fucking coast and everything in between. There's a lot of empty nothing out there. Just miles and miles of road of nothing. Many hours of just nothing. So if you've only lived in fucking, I don't know, wherever, as your town grows or your city grows, you think that's it. There are billions of miles of earth that there's nobody, and there's plenty of food to sustain them. That's the other thing. You gotta augment what you think about food is, because if you think that food is always means that you something that you know, that's not like I watch a lot of videos from like Asia. Or, you know, certainly I watch a lot of stuff in Africa, but there's so much food that you don't even know about. And you would look at it and go, I don't eat that, so you should starve to death. You should. And nobody should care. But there's so much food out there. It's just out there, man, that you don't even know. So don't buy into this you know, that there isn't enough for humanity, and ooh, you know, you're in danger because Allah has already taken care of everything, everybody. Just that, I know that for sure. Controlling our reproduction is urgently needed. It will require major changes in our attitudes and customs. Unfortunately, the inertia, there's that word again, of human custom, now it's human custom, can be extreme. This is especially true when those of whom custom is a dominant force are uniform of the need, are uninformed of the need for change. In other words, we've always had tradition as a people. White people have never had any tradition other than violence and evil. But most other peoples on the earth have tradition, and they're saying that any of those people, they're going to have issue. It'll be difficult. It will require major changes in our attitudes and customs. Unfortunately, human customs can be extreme. This is especially true for those who actually have a fucking culture. I'm just going to translate it that way. Who have tradition and a history of, you know, doing shit. Nearly every nation is now overpopulated in terms of a perpetual balance with nature. Just a second. That's important. Nearly every nation, which that's not true. Not true, not true. Because what nation is he talking about? What nations are you talking about? Because there's almost 1.5 billion people on the continent of Africa, and there's still many billions of miles of nothing. Never going to fill it up. So who does he mean when he say nearly every nation is now overpopulated? Oh my God, it's a crisis. Who? What nation? What? In terms of perpetual balance with nature. We are like, in other words, nature can't sustain it. And that's not true. We are like a fleet of overcrowded lifeboats confronted with an approaching tempest. And it goes back to what I told you a minute ago. Just even in this nation. So if your city fills up, there's hundreds of miles across this fucking ugly ass country that there's nothing. Just greenery and the road and you. That's it. So there's no, I mean, even in this nation, you're not to capacity. This just isn't true. We are like a fleet of overcrowded lifeboats confronted with an approaching tempest. In the United States of America, we are seriously overtaxing our resources to maintain our present population in the existing state of prosperity. Well, when you're putting out millions and millions of chickens every fucking day, just even that, so people can have chicken, it's a problem. At some point, you know, like overtaxing the resource, some of them, to maintain our present population in the existing state of prosperity. We are destroying, I'm not even tired. We are destroying our farmland, and we have grown dangerously dependent upon external sources for oil, metals, and non-renewable resources. Listen, America has enough oil of its own, everybody. Did you know America's one of the #1 exporters of oil? Did you know that? But they're always screaming at you that, oh, we just don't know where we're going to get our oil, and we don't know, and we can't. They're always screaming that. And the oil companies, why gas is so high right now, is because the oil companies have billion-dollar profit that they're raking in. They have the money to do more drilling and to open up new sources, but they won't do it. They won't. So you need to know that part of the detail. Like, we're not dependent on external sources for oil, although we use more fossil fuel than anybody else on the bitch. You know, America has a lot of oil. There's oil in proportion to the nation. I say that. Nations such as Japan, Holland, and Haiti are even more seriously overpopulated and therefore in greater jeopardy. In these circumstances, reproduction is no longer exclusively a personal matter. Society must have a voice and some power of direction in regulating this vital function. See how nicely they put that? I'll read it again in case you didn't catch it. In these circumstances, reproduction is reproduction is one system, is no longer exclusively a personal matter, period. In these circumstances, fuck her. You got to get in there and tell her what to do, Bob. In these cases, I always tell you, in crisis is when they always tell you, when somebody's in crisis, you can tell them anything. The building's falling, pull your pants down. Give me your panties. Oh my God, it's a fire, quick, give me your money. This is that. In these circumstances, reproductive, like they did during the pandemic. That's why you had other people turning on you. You had the police going out beating people, and even in Australia. You see, this is that same idea. In these circumstances, comma, that circumstances tell me a lot. Reproduction is no longer exclusively a personal matter, because everything that's personal is kind of exclusive by definition of it being personal, not understanding. Is no longer exclusively a personal matter. Society. What is that? Who is that? Because you got to be able to strangle a bitch. Society, I can't strangle society. You see what I'm saying? I can strangle one ass. Society must have a voice in that personal matter and some power of direction in regulating this vital function, period. That's a whole lot of words to say. You want to tell these bitches they got to fucking have an abortion. They can't choose to have life anymore. So this is contradicting the whole Roe v. Wade thing. And by default, the New World Order. Whatever. Anyway, the wishes of human couples are important, but not paramount. The interests of present society and the welfare of future generations must be given increasing consideration as we develop mechanisms to bring rational control to our childbearing. Wow, that's diabolical. I'll just read it again in case you didn't get it. The wishes of human couples are important, but not paramount. The interests of present society, because they've not told us who society is. I just went for 10 minutes going, who is that? The interests of present society and the welfare of future generations, I guess, of society, this hocus pocus person, future generations must be given increasing consideration, I would say control, as we develop mechanisms to bring rational control to our childbearing. We got to tell you what to do, because they already told us that reproduction is no longer exclusively a personal matter. Is no longer exclusively a personal matter. Irresponsible childbearing must be discouraged by legal and social pressures. Well, then that brings back in the Roe v. Wade thing. So that, okay, irresponsible childbearing must be discouraged. That's why they struck Roe v. Wade. Must be discouraged by legal and social pressures. Couples who cannot provide a decent income and support for a child should not reproduce a child to be a burden on the neighbors. I have said that to you a million times. A child has the right to come into the world with two parents who can fucking feed them. And if you can't do that, you don't get to have a child. That don't have to be no New World Order shit. That's just what's right. Bringing unneeded children into an overcrowded lifeboat is evil. It is unjust to those children. Well, forget the overcrowded. because it's not already. I think I made a decent case for that. It is unjust to those children. It is harmful for those occupants and all living things. Society should not encourage or subsidize such behavior. I gotta stop and share this with y'all. This is important. Since we're talking about all this running the world and New World Order shit, I was gonna put it up for you to see it. But I need you to understand, because you've heard it, but you haven't seen it. I can guarantee you that. The visual should remain the same for you. Let me see. I just wanted to, I think it fits with what we're doing. I want to show you the companies that own every fucking thing that you know, do, eat, see, anything. All of it. So you can understand, you don't need a whole bunch of people. You could have 5 people. If I'm one CEO and I run everything from California to fucking, I don't know the United States that well. I'm not good at geography. So I don't know. But I run half or a quarter. And then 3 other people run the other 3/4. Only the 4 of us have to get together to say what the fuck is going to happen. That's it. You don't need no big ass conspiracy. Just we decided it. We tell you to go do your shit and you do it. You will do it. Because you are so beholden to the fucking job and your petty little life that you'll do it. So that's not a problem. Just like you had these fucking nurses willing to give people this fucking injection. Over it's their job. That those words never fly with me. Give a fuck, because that'll get you punched even faster actually from me, because that means you're such a fucking louse that you your morality goes out the window with a coin, you see, and that's maddening to me. I don't allow this. I don't like it and I don't allow it. But this will illustrate that, and it's the perfect, I think it's perfect to share this right now. I'll know when I'm at the end when I see what that. So, because these might be in order of how I screenshotted it. We're going to learn. Is that GE? What is this? Are you GE? No. Oh, that's the amount. All right, this is going to be a little out of order. The value of this is important, everybody. You'll agree. You'll see. Let me just bring you into this really quick. No, damn it, Jedi. You're an idiot. This is why I don't take me anywhere. Open. Well, and then just July. Where we at? Here we go. GE. This is backwards, but whatever. Is worth $751 billion in total assets. GE, bitch. Am I upside down? No. Now, CNBC, A&E, Universal, NBC, USA, Bio, MSNBC, I can't, this purple, Lifetime, Universal, The Weather Channel, Bravo, History. Wait. Now, and by the way, all those have shit under them. Sony, $137.7 billion. Michael Jackson was worth at least one half of that. One of the reasons why he was murdered by these white devils. Sony. Boom. What is this in the top? I don't know. Wait, did I get another picture of it? I don't know. But anyway, Sony. I'd be able to read these. TriStar Pictures, Columbia Pictures, Epic. This one I can't read. I gotta have a better picture than this. Come on. I don't. Are you kidding me? Anyways, PlayStation. There's probably some icons you know there that I don't recognize. And remember, there's shit under them. Just think about how many conglomerates are under TriStar Pictures. How many are under Columbia Pictures? This is all owned by fucking Sony and Michael Jackson. Do you understand? That's two. So I've given you GE, I've given you Sony. This is Time Warner. 54.4 billion, a lousy 54.4 billion. Time Warner, CNN, the CW, HBO, Cartoon Network, TNT, TBS, Time, Cinemax, DC Comics, I think that is, and Looney Tunes. But those are all parent companies over something else, but they're all under fucking Time Warner. That's Sony, GE, Time Warner. Sony, GE, Sony, Time Warner. GE, Sony, Time Warner. Is that the only ones I said so far? Yeah. Because then before that was Sony. Okay. I don't know what pictures this is over here. Warner Brothers. That's Warner Brothers Television as well. You understand? That's Ellen. That's The Real. That's anybody you ever seen on Warner Brothers like television. I've been to there a lot. You understand when I've been out there for television show tapings. And I know this icon, but I can't call it. Just that. This, I can't read the logo. $66.5 billion in total assets. News Corporation. This is all their shit. Do you understand? Walt Disney, bitch. $69.2 billion in assets. ABC, History, A&E, Marvel, the fucking something pictures with the lion sitting there. I know the icon, but I don't know the name of it. Pixar, Disney, Disneyland, ESPN, Hollywood Records, some more shit I can't read, and this black one I can't read. Okay, that's it because I'm to the bitch from the What is a Man documentary. So let us understand, everybody, that you only have a few people running every fucking thing. Everything. Everything. And if you need something that's more tangible for you, you know, on Capitol Hill, you have 535 members of Congress. You understand? And there's 330 something million people allegedly in this country. Why is anybody running? Why aren't we running shit? You feel me? I mean, it's just not, it's not consistent at the very least. I needed to get that in at that moment. This is really voluminous. I didn't know this. I normally scan stuff before we read it. I didn't do it on this. I'm gonna have to come up with a way we can edit. Oh, this one is where we were. But it's also intriguing though. With the completion of the central cluster, the Georgia GuideStones, our small sponsoring group was disbanded. We leave the monument in the safekeeping of the people of Elbert County, Georgia. And then they just put it out there. Like, I mean, if our inscribed words are dimmed by the wear of wind and sun and time, we ask that you will cut them deeper. If the stones should fall, or if they be scattered by people of little understanding, we ask that you raise them up again. Well, they threw that out because they went ahead and destroyed the rest of them, they claim, when only one or two of them was even damaged, you know, destroyed. And you probably could put those back together to some degree. I mean, all the pieces weren't fine. So they didn't respect that at all. Why? I need to know why. You know what? We need to go to that and come back to this. We need to seek the why of it. I wanted to give a thorough background on what these stones were, where they came from, why they were what they say, who the authors are. Okay, R.C. Christian. We kind of know who the authors are. We kind of already. Well, let's see if there's new information. So is this small group of Americans who seek the age of reason? Although their identity is secret, they have left some telling clues to the initiates, unmistakably pointing towards the occult nature of their group. Again, I don't agree with this occult rendering, you know. For starters, the text above bears the unmistakable mark of Western occultism. We can find references to as above, so below. The celestial alignments of the stones symbolizes the need for humanity to be square with okay, they're going into the philosophical thing. I thought you were just going to talk about the authors themselves, not philosophical stuff. That's what's taking us long. I believe this text alone provides enough proof to conclude that the authors are either Freemasons, Rosicrucians, or another hermetic secret society. There are, however, even more obvious clues pointing to the esoteric leanings of the authors, starting with R.C. Christian, the mysterious man who ordered the monument. We're not going to read about R.C. Christian. We know he ordered the monument, and we don't need to go into that now. If this was just it, we would go into that. We already gave you the definition of the Rosicrucian, what it is. So we don't need to do that. The age of reason. Let these be guidestones to an age of reason. An age of reason. This was 1980, which is ironic because the 1980s were so good, man. Like, forget politics. Forget that shit. Just the 1980s was the best time to be alive, quite frankly, and the 90s. A little bit of the 2000s, but not so much. It kind of ended in 2001. But the 80s was everything, you know. There are numerous references to the concept of Age of Reason within the Guidestones. Could they be a reference to the classic work of Thomas Paine entitled Age of Reason? And it's always some fucking dainty ass white dude with a fucked up wig and the fucking, you know, they're never in just like a fucking wife beater or something. The Age of Reason being an investigation of true and fabulous theology is a deistic treatise written by 18th century British radical and American revolutionary Thomas Paine. He was none of that. He was some wimp that couldn't get a girl. You feel me? The work critiques, look at that. The nose has it all. I've proven it. The work critiques institutionalized religion and challenges the inerrancy of the Bible. See, that's where these ideas come from. When I hear people pop up right now and say, I'm not for organized religion, that's not an organic statement. It's been told, it's been suggested, it's been implanted. The term has really been polluted because you came up under your parents' roof, you had order. When they said, Miss So-and-so, you're pregnant, there was an order to how that fetus, that embryo and that fetus began to grow. There's an order. There's an order to the universe. The sun never encroaches on the moon and vice versa. You out, moon? You go ahead and shine. I'll wait. Sun, are you out? All right, I'll wait. So it is the natural way, and we see in creation, order. Order. It is this devil that has come in and told you that religion is something. Fuck that word. I don't even know what it means. But I got 3 little words for you. Way of life. You see? That's what it is. That's what it is. Way of life. Organized religion really sounds more like the occult. That's what sounds like the occult. But if I tell you this is my way of life, oh, you want to know more about that? Tell me how you you know, do you go to the beach? You know, like when I say way of life, that's a whole different understanding than religion, because it's empty. It don't mean nothing. And the people that use it are usually people not Muslim, because those people don't have anything that they practice, and they have no order, there's that word, to their life. No order, because you don't have a way of life, a code of ethics, a way that you do shit. You don't have it. So now we see that this is allegedly the author of this term. The work critiques institutionalized religion and challenges the inerrancy of the Bible. Its tenets advocate reason in place of revelation, a point that is obviously shared by the author of the Guidestone. In conclusion, let's see, but you didn't really conclude though. We'll read the conclusion. So we want to get to the Georgia Guidestones are a modern day Rosicrucian manifesto calling for or announcing a drastic change in the way the world is managed. The monument is of great importance in the understanding of the forces covertly shaping today and tomorrow's world. It materializes into stone the crucial link between secret societies, the world elite, and the agenda for a new world order. The push for a world government population control, and environmentalism are issues that are today discussed on a daily basis in current events. They were not in 1981 when the Guidestones were erected. Can we say great progress was made? No. Many of the rules of the Guidestone do make sense for the preserving of Earth on a long-term basis. I want to stop and say this about progress, everybody, because this is another thing. You know, when people think progress, they're usually thinking technology, advancement and shit, but that doesn't mean anything. And ask yourself, have you ever wondered, just like even with Bluetooth, I can have a photograph right now and go, oh, let me send this to my computer. How does that go there? I'm sitting right here. I don't see no shit come out of my phone and go over there. How does that do that? How? What is it that's right in front of us that we are not told? Because it kind of fucked me up when I brought you the story of the brother in, I forget what country it was, in Africa now, that had the TV that works on just radio waves out of the air, just radio waves. And the limited knowledge that I do have about radio waves, what that means, you know. You sitting up here paying for fucking Wi-Fi and shit. Maybe you don't need to. Because if it can be put into the air, it can be gotten out of the air. You know, anyway, there is a world of difference. Reading between the lines, the Guidestones require from the masses the loss of many personal liberties and to submit, many of the rules of the Guidestones do make sense for the preserving of Earth on a long-term basis. But between the idealistic words of the Guidestones authors and the actual way these policies would be applied on the masses by power-hungry and greedy politicians, there is a world of difference. Reading between the lines, the Guidestones require from the masses the loss of many personal liberties and to submit to heightened governmental control on many social issues. They do, but they don't. At once they're bequeathing all humanity to just come together in peace and be as one and shit. I mean, it's kind of passive aggressive, really, because there's times when it's like, and then there's other times like, okay, no, this is not saying any of that. This is not no New World Order stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they were just a bunch of old men that just were senile and they were having delusions of grandeur or something. I don't know. I don't know. And to submit to, okay, not to mention the death of 92.5% of the population, and probably not those of the elite. In the concept of a democracy by and for the people as idealized by the founding fathers, which didn't found anything, but it was a murderous, genocidal takeover heist. That works, but not founding. Nothing was founded, everybody. A mere illusion, a temporary solution until the introduction of a totalitarian world government. Why are the world citizens not being consulted in a democratic manner? I guess it's easier for the entities to manufacture consent through mass media, but maybe it won't work on everybody. Oh, to be loved. And then there's a fuck the New World Order there. That's all fine, but we seek to know, why was the shit blown up? And here you have this thing standing since 1980. Was there no security on it? You had cameras, so you obviously thought it was a meaningful thing enough to have cameras on it. What are you? Oh, that's the other thing. It went into the next thing. Did I read this? I read it. Did I read this? Son of a bitch. Let me just go to something I know I didn't read. You don't have to even ask. Now, we just want the most recent. This is what we want, I think. I should come to you and see what you guys are saying thus far. Is this long? Oh, and there's one of our stories popping up in front of my face. Hopefully it'll stay so you can see it when I show it to you. Because this bastard that killed Tamir Rice was trying to get a job or had a job in a small town at a police station. The people found out and they ran his bitch ass up out of there. So he had to quit. And this is hanging down as one of their top stories on this USA Today. But Georgia GuideStones completely demolished after explosion left monument damaged. But we saw a substantial amount of it still standing. A rural monument and it was rural, that was damaged in an intentional bombing this week has now been demolished over safety concerns. You could have just cordoned off the area and left the bitch standing there. You could have brought in heavy equipment and lifted the tablets up and put them on a flatbed and carted them up out of there to save them. They could have gone into a museum, you understand what I'm talking about? An indoor location behind security wire and gates and a security guard and shit. So why did you destroy the entire fucking thing, bitch? We want that answer. For safety reasons. The state officials also released surveillance video in the search. Why are they on it? It must be the heat. It's just the heat. It's got to be because I'm not tired. State officials also released surveillance video in the search for those responsible for setting off the explosion Wednesday morning at the Georgia GuideStones monument. Erected in 1980, the massive granite monument stood 7 miles north of Elberton near the South Carolina state line. Quote, for safety reasons, the structure has been completely demolished, the Investigation Bureau posted on Twitter, while releasing videos showing the powerful blast and what appeared to be a 4-door silver car on the scene. At the scene, Elbert County Sheriff officials, deputies who responded to the scene found the explosion destroyed a large part of the monument, the Bureau reported. According to investigators, officials determined someone detonated an explosive device at the monument. They have not elaborated on what type of device it was, but pictures and drone footage show the 4 stone panels in rubble. No, the 4 stone panels were not in rubble, bitch. They weren't. No one was injured. They were not in rubble. One, at least maybe one of them. That's it. All the rest of them were still standing. As of Thursday, a motive in the bombing had not been released, just like you're not giving us a motive why you would destroy the entire thing. And state and local authorities are still searching for a suspect in the case. They're not going to find one. They're not going to find one, everybody. That's one of the ways that you know this is an inside thing. Before its demise this week, the 19-foot-high monument commissioned by an unknown person or group under the name R.C. Christian featured messages about world peace and population control in multiple languages. The attraction received renewed attention and a lengthy shout out on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver when Candace Taylor, a Republican candidate for governor, claimed the Guidestones are satanic and made demolishing them part of her platform. Well, that's too convenient. I'm not going to bite at that. I won't do it. She placed third in the state's primary. Don't tell me that. You're trying to further distract me. This ain't about her, bitch ass. If anyone says that I do not believe in law and order and that I would support vandalism to demolish something or vandalize something, they are a liar, said the whore in a nearly 5-minute video posted on Rumble. Do not associate me with anything that is not legal, even though I'm a lying white whore and all I do is illegal stuff. Mm-hmm. One Tree Hill Star. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. Also on Thursday, Northern Circuit District Attorney Park White said he intends to prosecute whomever bombed the monument and act he described as domestic terrorism. So now they're showing you this portion right here. That ain't the whole monument, bitch. I'm gonna need a full picture. Is there more? That read like an ending line. The power of this device was enormous. White also said that using the massive explosive device was a criminal act which placed people in danger and serious injury. The Guidestones are officially owned. We know that already. We read it. Carries a maximum of 20 years in prison with a possibility of parole. Without a possibility of parole. Listen, I can't. This is... We want to know why. We have to know that. Oh, move on, Jedi. I'm not sure that I read this one, so we're just going to read this one. Did I start on the other thing, or did I start on, I don't know what I started on. So, for that reason, what did the Georgia GuideStones say? Mysterious words on blown up monument. Maybe I did read it because we looked at that. I don't know when we get in, as we get into this. The Georgia GuideStones 19-foot mysterious mount in the Peach State was demolished on Thursday for safety reasons after being damaged in a blast. An explosion around 4 a.m. on Thursday. 4 a.m. on Thursday? No, Wednesday. Reduced one of the stones in Elbert County to rubble. One of the stones, bitch. There's our answer, just one. CCTV showed a silver sedan leaving the scene after the explosion, and the police were investigating. But does that CC camera show the bitches pulling up? and on the scene. So I don't care that you have them leaving the scene. That means nothing. Nobody's stopping to think, wait, if they got images of this shit blowing up, they got images of your bitch ass planting the bomb. No motive has been identified, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has said unknown individuals caused the vandalism. This is more than vandalism. This is beyond vandalism. The Guidestones had a set of 10 principles engraved on them in 8 different languages, including, we read those already, we know what languages they are, and we know what the 10 Commandments are. The Guidestones were erected 22nd March 1980, which puts them under the moon. No, it doesn't strike that. But who put them up remains a mystery. No, who authored them? Because somebody made the fucking granite and somebody get out there with heavy materials to put the bitches up. So let's not act like we don't know anybody that put them up. Now, that's not been suggested to us. Just the authors are a mystery, not the erection of them. The stones were erected on 22nd March 1980. Oh my God, I can't. Making the area one of the ongoing interests of conspiracy theories. Despite being much newer, the Guidestones resemble the infamous British monument Stonehenge, which that's not Britain's. And, you know, they might have moved Stonehenge. I think I saw something that's not where Stonehenge has been. Like, you know, so they probably stole that from Africa too. And many have compared the two. Stonehenge in southwest England was built in the Neolithic periods some 5,000 years ago. The Georgia Monument was first revealed to a crowd of about 100 people. A local pastor who was in the crowd said he believed that the stones were built for cult and devil worship due to their similar appearance to Stonehenge. The Elbert County Sheriff Chamber of Commerce says on its website that the structure was funded by an anonymous small group of loyal Americans who believe in God, who lived outside of Georgia. And they're all keeping the secret because the person is white. The group or the people or the person, whatever, are white. That's it. Because if it was up there, they'd be like, we're going to have that information. We'll have to have the information. You know, it's part of our investigation or some bullshit. They'll come up with some bullshit on the spot. Dark Clouds Over Elberton, a 2015 documentary, claimed the Guidestones were designed and paid for by Herbert Hinsey Kirsten, a Zionist fucking fake, a doctor from Fort Dodge, Iowa, who was accused of being a white supremacist and a supporter of David Duke, a former Grand Wizard of the goddamn KKK. The Georgia Monument drew its crowds of curious visitors with more than 20,000 attended annually. WYFF of Greenville, South Carolina, reported citing Christopher Kubas, executive vice president of the Eberton Granite Association. Because you had to have the shit made someplace. That's just what it is. There's no way around that. But how am I going to find out why? Let me come to you, see what you're saying briefly. We need to know why. That's why. Why now? Why now? Rella, if I didn't shout you out, shout out to you. Bay Girl, Jedi, do you believe in the Kennedy curse? I think there's some reason for people to believe in it. You know, whether I believe in it or not, I think it's valid. It's valid. You know, my own life is a fucking curse. You know, like, so yes. Do I believe there can be a series of fucking bad luck in your life? Absolutely. Miss Matthews, who really knows exactly when they allegedly blew it up. They know because they have the video. The media gets their instructions on when to report. That's true. But they know because there's two camera angles that they showed. And those angles, the camera is rolling before the thing explodes. That means those cameras, and I proved by the car going by. Before the car comes in the frame, the light is already on that road. And the camera's already rolling, and the car just goes past that. So those cameras are not motion activated. They're on, recording. So you can't get to this damn thing. You have to get to this thing in order to place the explosives. Echoes a new type of spirituality. Scary sounding. Because spirituality / soul is as old as water. Wow. Khalifa. Jedi. This story has been on all the networks, including CNN and MSNBC. Thank you for that, Khalifa. Because my suspicion would be that it would be a big story. You know. Fred Nielsen. Shout out to you. It is explained in the sentence. Read better. Rosicrucians built the thing most likely. Well, it's not their idea. And is this somebody white, y'all? Moderators, exterminate. Yeah, exterminate. My moderators, handle that. Link. Hello, Jedi. Glad I made it to your show. I am shocked this has hit the news in this way, and I wonder if it's connected to COVID in any kind of way. It's said that a group of people contribute making it. Yeah. Maybe I assume you were here when I was reading because you came in at 5:40. It's 7:30 now. So, yeah, get rid of this Damon, everybody. Allison Bleb. So happy to, because again, approving what I say to you just takes one of their white ass to ruin. We're over here peaceful, having our thing, chilling, conversating, discussing. One fucking white devil to ruin it all. They don't have the capacity for peace or civility or humanity. Get rid of that piece of shit. Allison, so happy to see you, Jedi, and everyone else. Hugs, everyone. Melanin 100. Shout out to you. They always prove me right. The white man is the devil. Period. Andrea Smith. I see you, girl. Richard Stonemason. Like your name is really Richard Stonemason, not a Freemason. Hey folks, hope everyone is well. We bit late. I'm classified as white, although I prefer very, very, very light brown. I'm not elite. I'm the enemy of the elite. Yeah, it ain't good enough, Richard. Because you're not African. So therefore, by default, appreciate your sympathy and all that, but then go do something on our behalf away the fuck from us. You feel me? Like, gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. The times are too critical, and it's black only right here. That's it. Keep it pushing. Get to stepping. Moderators, Righteous Indignation. Tucker Carlson just aired a segment with Rhode Island Senator Tiara Whack twerking on top of the Georgia Guidestones as the cause of these. Never! Was the bitch really twerking on top of the fucking Guidestones? Wait, let me read it again. Tucker Carlson just did a segment with Rhode Island Senator twerking on top of the Georgia Guidestones. I can't. He's saying that just people twerk. Give me more. Give me more. Damn it. Mystic, shout out to you. Somebody get this parasite out of here. That's why you don't have shit to do with these people. They are the devil. You understand? They don't have the capacity to understand things the way we understand them at all. They're not even human. You feel me? And all they can come with for all of humanity is a bunch of bullshit. I hope you die, motherfucker, today. That's my prayer. Die your white ass the fuck off. What do I need? What's this? This is why I hate your white ass. Because even when nobody's fucking with you, here your motherfucking degraded, inferior, stank like a dog ass come. That's it. You're the worst thing in existence. The worst thing. Because see, what this Richard person reminds me of, there's always one that you go to somebody's house that's black and it's somebody fucking white there that you didn't know was even gonna be there. And then if it's me, I'm looking at them crazy like, oh no, he cool, he don't hate black people. So the fuck does that mean to me? That does not mean a fucking thing. I've had pit bulls that have licked me. It's still a fucking pit bull. It's gotta go. The worst of humanity. Oh wait, I should. Oh no, what the fuck? I didn't say that, bitch. bitch. Um, where to leave off? Mystic. uh, you go on. You say man still has free will, and using that free will, he can get secret knowledge of things. Atomic bombs and free energy proves that. But all knowledge is still with Allah, mystic. You don't have any, there's nothing you're going to conjure as a human being that is your own. All knowledge is with Allah. That you come up with a brilliant idea, you give glory and thanks to Allah and give credit because that's where it came from. You don't know even your name unless the divine allows you to know it at any moment. Anything, your car keys, how to use the bathroom, who your parents are, who you are, who the president is, anything, you don't know it. But that said, I take your point that we can use that. You see, just like man has come with clothing and I'm sitting on a couch and, you know, this is all from divine, but through our sort of reign, if you will. And I really don't think there's any secret knowledge of anything. I think that I don't know if you heard from my opener, but I am sick and tired of that now there is secret stuff. You feel me? Now there is, you know, there hasn't always been secrecy to just knowledge. People just share stuff, you tell you stuff, teach you stuff. You know, now it's you can't know anything. You don't. Most importantly, you can't know what the truth is about most things. It's sad. That's why you got so many people walking around doubting even if God exists, and they're not ready to be, you know, to follow God and submit to God because they just don't know, and it's all part of it. But that's here. Again, you got to put stuff in context because there's many places on the earth where they will look at you like you're stupid. Like, what do you mean you don't know if you believe in God or not? And would not have shit to do with you. Like, that's like the obvious, like, what are you saying, miss, type thing, you know? And we build, construct 42 years ago. 4 + 2 = 6. Well done, Mystic. At least that helps to begin to put us on something. Because I'm like, why now? Why now? Why? And why now? I like that. I like that. I like that. No, Allison, don't talk to any of these white demons. Nobody. Don't talk to them. We don't talk to white people on this channel at all. Don't answer their shit. Miss Matthews. Per what Dr. Robin DeAngelo wrote in White Fragility, you have to have a certain power to be a just fucking right, white and racist, Miss Matthews. You don't need to do code over here. You see how I speak. There's no code. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Not right here. Jedi can't redline, gentrify, displace people. No way he can be a racist responding. Right. They suspect every Negro is supposed to be changed when they white ass show up. I'm the real nigga. You understand? Real black men can't stand your white ass. Period. And I'm praying for your fucking extinction, bitch. Go and die. Chief Ali Muhammad had mentioned such before. What? It's rumored that there's... I can't read it. I physically can't read it. That's to Allison. Kiara. Good evening, King. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. Allahu Akbar. Good to see you, Kiara. We'll give it another stab, Miss Matthews. Please see that episode of the Jesse Ventura TV show. Seen every single one of them. It aired on True TV about what? The term useless eater and depopulation. That was the first I ever heard of such term. I thought the food industry is $1 billion industry. Certainly they don't see eaters as useless. That's the only thing that jacks me up about this whole New World Order depopulation shit, because then who gonna spend their money and make them rich for all their shit and their yachts and the shit? That's where it breaks down a little bit for me there. You know, who are we talking about specifically? I got to go past those. Righteous indignation. That's to Miss Matthews. Check out Coldplay's Viva la Vida, and follow the lyric as he maps out the white man rise and fall in his kingdom. Coldplay did that. I'm sure he doesn't mean it like we would mean it. He can't. I'm trying to get somebody new. That's Allison. Thumbs up, everybody. Andrea, shout out to you. If I didn't already, I feel like I did. I wonder if she already had the twerk video out before getting into office, or if it was made after. It won't matter, they'll resurrect your shit. I already been blocked the day man. I was gonna argue to make his ass look dumb, but you don't allow that. No, because what I know about white people is it burns their ass when you give them no energy. It's like taking the oxygen out of a room. They fucking hate it. It's like strangling a dog. You know, I learned that a long time ago in my life. Don't have shit to do with them. If I'm in the grocery store, they can come past, you know, I could be standing all the way to the far side of the aisle looking at the other side, so I'm not standing nobody's way. They come back, excuse me, I don't acknowledge their shit. I don't acknowledge them. I don't fucking acknowledge them because I don't need to, because they're the enemy of humanity. They're certainly the enemy of my people. And it's just not any way that they're ever going to get any of my energy at all. I'm a king. And so they're not worthy of my throne or my presence, not even my spit. Don't argue with them. Don't respond to them. Because they only do it for, you know, this whole thing of getting an adrenaline rush and having a rush, that whole fucking term comes from them. No other people on the earth do that shit. They do. Just turn on social media. You see them jumping off houses into fucking pie pans and shit just for a rush, the fun of it and shit. You're not like them. You understand? If they're human, they're not the same species of human as us. So that's why they act different, they smell different, they think different, they're from a different place, they're not from Africa. You could just go on and on and on. But one of the things I know for sure, and my people that have been with me for a million years will tell you this, Allison, when I used to have my 23,000 subscriber channel, I was always under attack at the beginning. But I put that in place, and I used to tell my followers, don't fucking argue with these people. If you argue with them, I block them and you. That lasted out of a very short time, and they never fucking came around anymore. Like, whatever happened, they just weren't anywhere. We never dealt with that, because eventually they get the idea they're not going to respond to you. You see, it's the oldest trick in the book, and I'm like that in my general life anyway. If I don't like you, I ice you the fuck out. It's like you were never born. I could have known you for 50 years, and I ice you out. Just ice you out the fuck out. Like I no idea who you are, don't remember you, none of that. So it's effective. Don't give them shit. They just want your energy. Don't give it to them, because that's giving a little piece of your soul away. And in some way they think they feel equal with you when you respond. When you don't, then you hold your greatness over them and leave them to waddle in their own vomit. Miss Matthews, many think that Miss Mac was either paid to twerk, I think I read that, or told to do that. Why? Humiliation ritual. They don't want little brown girl to have her to look up to. They likely still mad that little girl can look up to Mrs. Obama. Well, the bitch shouldn't have been twerking to begin with. Like, twerking is old and I'm over it. It doesn't do anything for me as a man. In fact, you know, it's kind of like if somebody brings you spaghetti every day, at some point you'd be like, oh, fuck it, spaghetti again. And there's so much undress and so much nakedness in the society that I, as a man, have to look at, or it's going to come across me some kind of way. I try to really guard myself because I don't want to be, I don't want to be bored. You know, I still want to be turned on by a woman. You know, certainly when I'm married, I want my woman to turn me on. And if you looking at all these fucking cheeseburgers and twerkers all fucking day, that's gonna wear you down. You know, it's just gonna wear you down. It'll just wear you down. It'll just wear you down. You know. And to my women, this is an opportunity to say this: if you are not married and you're having sex with a man, if he's going forever till he get his, that's a dude that, one, played with himself a whole bunch and still does all the fucking time. So he's not sensitized. You feel me? His head is dead. So it take him a long time to fucking get there. Or he's sleeping with many bitches. You ain't the only one. Because a man has a certain level of sensitivity. You understand? That's just the way God made us. And if you don't have that, now we'll add this caveat. Men that are not circumcised have a little bit more longevity than men that are, because that principle is the same, the sensitivity. But this is that same principle, you know. Like, I'm just over, every time I'm scrolling Instagram, invariably there's some bitch bent over with some fucking ass that's bigger than I would ever desire in life. And she's making it clap and twerking and shit. Like, I've already seen 80 other bitches before I got to you. So you not fucking special. This kills me. It kills me. That's why I say to women, you want to stand out? Don't do none of that shit. Because when I'm out, I see a Muslim sister, boom, everything else turns dark around her and I only see her with a fucking halo glowing. That's it. Because she stands out. Because she's not, everything's not just everywhere. You know? It's just old, man. And that's why men just kind of play games with women on some level, you know? Because it's, you know, it ain't really nothing special. And so whatever, kind of, it's a few things. But yeah, I'm just over the twerking. I'm really over it. As long as I live, never thought I'd see a senator. I think I read that. No, and do it well, not like Hillary did that dancing alongside Roland Martin. Not understand how we got to sniper fire. Something missed in your connecting words, Miss Matthews. You got to proofread, Queen. You just have to. You exposed to me all the time. You see how I read. I'm a pretty good reader. So read it. So type it. So when I read it, I can say what you're trying to say. I'm representing you. Righteous. I already been blocked. This asshole. I was gonna. Oh, I said I read that one already. I thought that was Allison that said that, but that was maybe Allison said it too. Yeah, thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up the stream. Never heard that one, Allison Blib. Never heard that. Interesting. What was this? Now I'm saying, did you just type this? What time is this? No, it's jumping. That's why I'm like, I'm done. And then, like, yo, did she really just do that? We are always being reduced to just some ass. We're so much more. That's the truth. And man, Don't get me started. I'm still upset at her because that behavior should have been beneath her. She represents her family, a whole state, and you know, she represents herself. She represents herself, and I'm just trying to say, man, like all of my girlfriends have been classy women. Most men, no matter how much they freak up on you and all that shit, if I'm settling down with you, you need to be Michelle Obama. There don't need to be no Turk videos in your past. You feel me? Unless I'm Ray Ray and shit. And, you know, I think I see Anjane. But I don't know, because Anjane, if you're there, shout out to you. Because I don't know where I'm at. There's so many comments from Allison and Miss Matthews that I try and get through theirs to see somebody else, and then it jumps, and then I can't see for 15 minutes. So if you're out there, Anjane, shout out to you. That's all I could tell you. That's all I could tell you. I really can't see. I'm trying to read all the comments. I can't. It's not possible. There we go. Anjane, Allahu Akbar. Do they expect us to believe that they don't know who built the GuideStones? I read an article that, by the way, everybody watching me, I'm reading Anjane's comment. You see how it reads? I can read it just the way she's speaking it. That's the standard. That's it. So before you hit send, read Anjane's and see do yours read like that. And if it don't, then you need to do some more typing. All right. Because it just takes longer to get through the comments. If I have to sit there and look at the comment for 20 minutes, come on, y'all, you got to work with me now. Do they expect us to believe that they don't know who built the GuideStones? I read an article that said it was assembled by an unknown individual or group in 1980. I knew it was BS right then. Yeah, they know, because, and then the more we got through it, it dawned on me, yeah, somebody did have to fucking cut the limestone and engrave the shit for them. So, I mean, I can't. There's an invoice somewhere, goddamn. That's what it is. I'm so happy to hear great news as soon as I come in. Then we had the white devil fucking virus. Which also doesn't help, because they were also writing 50,000 comments. And it's just visually challenging for me. You know, you're trying to make sure you get everybody, trying to go down all the names. But you can't. And then I get to the bottom, I try and come up and read the ones that I skip over on purpose. Next time we're on, remind me to, I'm going to do a quick tutorial at the beginning of the live to teach my moderators how to go to their channel and block them. I've been to their channels and blocked them. But I need to teach y'all how to do that, if you don't already know. You can go to their channel and block their bitch ass. But it won't matter now that I think about it, because it's on my channel that they're doing it. So you just have to use the tools that are available for you as moderators. I'll give you that. Okay, I'm just going to start here. Mark this. I've already read that, but I just need a marker as I go down. I should look at it on the YouTube one because I'm not looking at it on YouTube. I'm looking at it on the software. But I can't read this because I have it in black mode. But I need to because I couldn't see. I see something. You typed, Allison, the blue hair. Did I say something about blue hair? Oh, I can't with me. Miss Matthews. But I can't read it from here. Damn it. I have to go over here. Fuck. Something about in the movie, something. Why doesn't this look like that? See if I can find that. Wait, before I get to that, Fred, the Australian, British, Canadian, and white people are on the same page. Oh, that was to the asshole. No, I read that one. What's this with the movie, Miss Matthews? I can't find that over here on the software. Fuck. Jedi, have you ever read Miss Lauryn Hill's blog on her Tumblr? No. Her take on what's called racism. If not, please pursue where she mentions reverse racism. Profound insight. I'm not gonna look for anything difficult. I probably would just Google it, Miss Matthews, because I defining blogs and stuff like that. I'm just not good. I don't do well at that. I'm definitely interested because I love Lauryn Hill, and one of the things I love about her is that she's so deep and thoughtful. That's not a sister just rattling her mouth at all. At all. At all. That's not. There's thought up there. Thought. You know, and most musicians, most people that are involved with music, we're thinkers, man. Music requires you to think. Like, it just does. And I remember when they came out with VH1 Save the Music, because they had decided, they had learned that if you expose kids to music early on, they do better academically. I don't know if that's why I was always top of my class, but damn it, I've been playing music since third grade. And I whizzed through school like that. It was nothing. You know, top of my class, honor roll student. And I just think there's something to that, you know. So Lauren is not a rattler, man. She's speaking as sister got something to say, and I'm here to hear it. It's the heat. That's what's making me yawn. I saw one on here, something about a movie from Miss Matthews, but I can't find it on here, so I don't know. Please listen to the song by the God Complex by the Last Poets. If you can print the lyrics out, compelling. Some really do feel like they are God. Astaghfirullah Azim. Yeah, Allison. Original Jewess, shout out to you. Ray Supreme, shout out to you. It's funny how this happened right after they turned on the CERN Hadron Colander. Did they turn it on? Can it be turned on? Just showed it. This is a plethora. There's a plethora of animals and vegetables and herbs to eat. My family is disgusted by me eating rabbit, duck eggs, different greens. You go, girl. They the ones that need to cleanse, and they are the ones that are suffering. The last poets who musical catalog. The last poet's whole musical catalog is compelling. Righteous Indignation. When Erykah Badu did her concert from the bedroom house. Too cute, by the way. Look at her sneakers. Chucky Taylor's. Y'all are too much as women. I love that about you. We would never do that as dudes, you know? That's so sweet, man. I love that. I love that. Like the sister ain't even here. You were still able to pay her a compliment, you know. I love that so much. I love that. Simply Sandra, shout out to you. Good to see you. I still have to navigate through these fucking demons shit because, you know, it's different on here than it is on there. It's rumored that there was Miss Matthews. It was rumored that there's something, Dr. Cosby, change in fonts and spacing. Miss Matthews, my eyes can't do this right now, Queen. I just can't now. A home he refuses to sell. Some speculate that is what the hate is really about. I think you're alluding to the house. They want him to sell because there's oil rights under the land in the driveway. Do I understand you? That's what I know about. And some people were speculating that's the reason why the whole thing came back up. To put him in jail. Oh, to be left. I tell you, I'm yawning. We're at 3.5 hours. Okay, we should start landing, y'all, because I can't. I'm not going to get to. I'm not going to get to. I didn't really need to get to it so much. It was just if I get to it, the Tamir Rice thing, because that's all I really needed to report was just that. Although there was a couple things, I told you guys I would do this every time I come on. If I see something at the beginning of when I'm still setting up, and that was one of them was the Tamir Rice thing. The other one was in Arizona. There's now a law recordings within 8 feet of police will be illegal in Arizona under a new law. If you're within 8 feet near them, then it's fucking against the law. Fuck these people, man. I don't need to be 8. I can be more than 8 feet away to hit your ass with my fucking sniper rifle, bitch. So I'm still good. So I'm still within the regulation. So that's fine. I'm still in regulation. Teachers Union hammered for renaming mothers as birthing parents. Women, you need to fucking, if you don't even wear long nails, and y'all know I hate them. But girl, go get you some fake nails. Have them on there real strong And you need to go out and just start scratching motherfuckers that's not respecting you as a woman. Period. Start with these bitches, these fake ass motherfuckers who trying to erase you and shit. You understand? And oh, by the way, here's some more walking language for you. Throw out this trans woman bullshit. Fuck that. They have a problem with that. Tell them a Muslim sent you. These motherfuckers are transsexual. That's what it is. Because I saw this African, but was it an African? Was he African? I mean, like continental African. Anyways, that reminded me. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Because one of my girlfriends, she was a twin, but these two guys that she hung out with, they were gay, Eric and Junior. And I never hated them because they were gay. I just hated them because they got on my fucking nerves. Like, they just would get on your nerves before you even get to anything else. Anyways, they used to, when they would mock somebody, they would say transvestite, like as a fun insult, like, I guess like inside language. That came back to me. And then the transsexual thing, I don't know where I knew that, but I'm like, yeah, that really was the language. That's what it is. So women need to start insisting these fake ass motherfuckers, you just call them transsexual to their face. Just say you're a transsexual. You know, that's what you are. You're trying to trans your sex. Because if you're really trying to have sex, you already got an asshole. So you can get fucked in that. So I'm not really understanding why you need another hole. Just not understanding. So you call them a transsexual. Don't let them encroach on trans woman. You understand? Because that's why they got this whole, ooh, what is a woman? We don't know. Ooh, I wish I need to buy a vowel. I don't know. I need a clue. Can I phone a friend and shit? Nah. You do what you want, but I'm a man, and I know if anybody was out here encroaching on my shit, it would be front page news. You understand? Don't do it. You know? And they kind of got y'all because they started, before this thing, they started rolling out all these female celebrities with their gays. You know? First of all, how the fuck can a man tell you what an eyebrow's supposed to look like and you're a woman? I don't fucking understand this, man. Like, it's backwards. You think a man would drive his fucking Porsche up into your garage and let a woman work on it without at least interrogating her for an hour and a half about how is she qualified to fix my fucking, you know what I mean? So, I mean, why are you just letting men come at you and tell you what to wear and shit? Please educate me. Please educate. Please educate. We're not done with this, everybody, because I am not done. I need to know why and who. And we don't know that. What we have proven is that there's evidence they're not sharing. I think I showed that by the nature of, just by having the you know how sometimes it doesn't look dark enough? It looks darker, but it's still light. Like, I'm looking at my security cameras and it's still light out. Are they coming in or going out? Yeah, I think I proved that in the video because there's two angles. I proved that those cameras are cameras that are on. They're not motion activated. So that means there would be pictures of the perpetrators. That's just it. That's just it. That's righteous, Miss Matthews. There it is. In the film Thrive, near the end, the narrator asked rhetorically, they have all the money in the world, so what's their end game. Paraphrased. Yeah. Because people that have money, it's kind of like kids, like teenagers. Teenagers think they have all the mortality in the world, and so they're not concerned about getting rest and shit. You know, things just don't matter. They just have it all. They know it all. They've done it all, though they've done nothing. And I think it's the same with the rich. I think they just have money. Their life is different than you and I understand it. And they just do shit. You know? That's to Miss Matthews. Allison. Is that why I'm so adamant about supporting local farmers, local businesses, and people that and people? The few are monopolizing so many industries. It's the truth. And when you go to those independent people, make sure they're not using Roundup and product from Monsanto. Miss Matthews, that's what we studied too. There was a black scientist named Yaqub. That's correct. Yaqub. This is how we say Jacob in Arabic. It might be the same in Hebrew. Don't quote me on that, but I know it in Arabic. He got angry. People weren't giving him praise for his talents. So he decided to create a race, a people that would. That's probably a lie, Miss Matthews, because that story comes from the Bible, which is mostly lies, fairy tales, and fiction written by men. Paul is the author of Christianity. He was not even a fucking apostle. That's a real, that's the truth. Like, before you get to belief or what you want to do, this is what I say. Christians have to know religious history, just as an academia. Before, even if you want to be an atheist, you should learn this, you see, so that you could know historical fact, just fact. Before you get to theology, is the Bible the Word of God, and did Christ come as the Savior? Before you get to that, it's kind of like you got to get to the Valley of the Kings before you can dig up King Tut. Just get to the Valley of the Kings. Get there, you see. This is that. So I'm inclined to reject that because it's petty. And human beings weren't like that. These attributes are also those of white people. Everybody you want to talk about in any holy book is a black man or a black woman. There are no other peoples. That's just the truth of it. Least of all, the Bible. That's nothing but black people. So I would be inclined to believe that's just not true. Like, I'm great, nobody's noticing me, so let me just create. And by the way, Yaqub did not have the power of creation. That belongs to Allah only. Let me just read it again so I don't put words in your mouth. There was a black scientist, a scientist. Where did I get Bible out of scientist? And he got angry. People were, a scientist? Weren't giving him praise for his talent, so he decided to create a race. It's still not true. Because only God creates living things. That's it. We don't have the power to breathe life into nothing. Yeah, we gotta land. And it's later for y'all. It's 11:30 across the country. They've made us worship a D, follow that to no end instead of the Most High. Truth, but they got that truth, but they got that already, yet still focused on us. As the late great James Baldwin said, poverty is expensive. Think about it. Why would the flat rich focus on the flat poor? And my best friend was saying something. Yes, something happened in Florida. Somebody either robbed a bank or did something. I was like, glory be to God. It's not right, but I ain't mad at them because nobody steals anything that they have. Crime is born out of desire and need, never just for just the kicks of it, unless you're dealing with white people. Then there's that. Okay, I can't anymore, y'all. I'm hot and I want to get up. So I am going to land this plane. LOL, just read it. Exactly how they don't know who put it up. Complete BS. I'm so happy you pulled up another article. That's why I usually do more than one, you know, because there might be something more. Sometimes I do 3. Oh, that's not a bug. That was mine. And I have floaters in my eye, y'all, too. Y'all know what floaters are. So it's a struggle for me. I read that. Okay, Black Winter, shout out to you. I hope you didn't have to wait too long for me to get to you. Yeah. Last one. Well, that's to Alison Bleb from Anjane. So I'm going to land. Yeah, I'll be back, everybody. Probably before the weekend's out. Probably tomorrow. Could be. I don't know. If so, to be when I come in for the mosque. It depends on my energy level. But and maybe I will do those other ones that I just mentioned to you, you know, but I kind of got a little off when I read this one. The teachers union hammered for renaming mothers as birthing parents. I cannot. This is the working of evil white ass people, man. Nothing less than that. That I'm clear about. Let me save these so that I can pull them up on the next one. Yeah. So, and it's late for everybody. Also, I'm going because the first portion of this went a lot longer than I thought I needed. That I didn't know, because I don't read anything in advance. But what I do is I scan the page. I didn't scan the page on the Georgia GuideStone, because I wanted to bring you historical context. What are they? Where they come from? So people could walk away from the video knowing exactly what they are and what they came from. We did that. But that took 2 hours. You know. So just for the interest of time and heat only are we going. You know, that's the only reason. But I thank all of you who came. Original Jewess, here's one. Let me read you. Hey, Jada, I was watching your movie Bombing last night and found out that last year that they were holding on to some of the victims' remains. Oh, my 9/11 video. I think you're talking about, I don't know, your move, bombing. You got to tell me what you're talking about, US. I don't know what that means. Because I'm thinking you're talking about 9/11, and I don't know. Did I acknowledge it? When did you send it? Because I usually try and put a heart, to like it. So at least, he's seen it. Anytime somebody shares something with me. I was watching your move. I don't know what you're saying. I was watching your move, bombing. What is that? Anjane. He's talking about the black group move that was bombed in their home. I could understand that, but nothing about what US sent me even. I didn't get that dissertation at all. Just saying. Thank you, Anjane. I love you, girl. Um, well, I'm so glad you watched that, Allison, or US. Um, yeah, I wish I could have been. I was too young to be a part of that. But I dreamed to be something like that, something like that, like something. I got to be doing something, man, that's striking at this fucking demon. Anything else is just not fulfilling to me at all. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not. There has to be. It just doesn't do it for me, you know. Wait, hold up, y'all. Oh, my pillow's all crunched down. I gotta fluff these damn feathers. Anyway, uh, I love you more. I do. You know, I tell my nephew that. I tell anybody that I say that to because I know that I love harder than anybody. I do. I do. It's one of my curses in life. I love too much and too hard. My love is sincere and it's real. I always care about somebody else more than they ever gonna care about me. You know, that's what I mean when I say I love you more. And I think that that's probably what Michael Jackson meant when he started saying that, because I know that we have the same, in many ways, the same, that understanding, that, that, just that, you know, um, that real, authentic devotion and deep concern for the things we love and the people we love, you know. So, anyways, I want to say, then let's just do a quick landing, everybody, so that we don't drag this out. As I say, it was necessarily long just because of the information. But we will be convened again. If not tomorrow, then certainly on Saturday. Um, and that'll just depend, you know. Um, yeah. But for now, I think I want to say thank you guys all for being a part of the stream. Do refresh when we're done so you can know the true number of people. And I say do the same time we're on. You know, just like when we're done, refresh, and you go, oh, that's how many people were actually watching. So do that, and I will see you very soon. Good night. This is the Jedi.